Greetings, fellow Toriyama fans. Blue Dragon 5 here.
And Jacob Weil.
To pay tribute to the master of manga, Akira Toriyama, and celebrate 40 years of Dragon Ball proper, we're going through the animated saga that is Dragon Ball Z. To get back in touch with our anime roots as we begin our journey into Dragon Ball Z.
Previously on Journey into Dragon Ball Z, Dragon and Jacob saw the arrival of Babidi, an evil wizard with the ability to make anyone his pawn, with the hopes of reviving an ancient evil, Majin Buu. On the day of the World Martial Arts Tournament, Babidi's plan came to fruition, with Vegeta falling under his spell, leading to his noble sacrifice. Now, with Majin Buu unleashed and Goku's time running out, the world is under threat from a nonsensical monster, and no one knows exactly how to stop it. Find out how it all ends in the Buu Saga.
Dun, 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 dun.
For old time's sake.
Yeah.
So, this is the grand finale, Dragon.
Yeah, that's right. Big event, big day.
The grand finale of the original Dragon Ball run. Yeah, it's kind of a momentous occasion, isn't it?
That it is.
So, why don't you regale us a bit, Dragon?
It figures that we're doing this in the candy month.
Yep.
Yes, so the Buu Saga, I've always had of all the Dragon Ball Z arcs that we've covered. I got to admit, this one is one of the most nostalgic of the Z stuff specifically, because it was very fond nostalgia for this. I was this is when I was basically caught up in the Dragon Ball Z fandom. This is where I was kind of like as up to date as I could get in, with the understanding that it was reruns, but like reruns being broadcast via Toonami.
Okay.
Yeah, this is like the afternoon Toonami too. This is like before Saturdays. This was like, it was kind of like later on they kind of rebranded as like Maguzi or something, or you remember that?
I actually don't remember that.
Well, they did like a rebranding, so it was kind of like an interim between Toonami and Maguzmi, and I think they technically knew each other too. I think she, like the girl who was on that, like was able to talk to Tom sometimes. I can't remember, but that might be a reach. Maybe, I don't know if they were directly connected, but it was kind of similar. Anyway,
I don't even know who you're talking about.
I know that because you don't. Yeah. The point being, I think it was like, actually there's this great Flash game you can play too. It's like, I think it's either Maguzmi or Naguzmi. I forget if it starts with an M or an M. It's like Maguzmi Splashback. But anyway, the point being, it was Toonami had something that was in the that was kind of like not an afternoon block, but like around like 4 to 6 o'clock, like a block of programming that was like, I think, during the week. And when it aired on Toonami, that's it's kind of like, I'd call it like an afternoon block. It was kind of like an after school block of sorts. And I would just go to my grandparents' house and I would watch the DBZ, and that's kind of basically around this time. This is when I had like the fusion of Batman was kind of coming back into my life, because I was getting the Batman Beyond reruns in that same block, Batman Beyond and DBZ.
All right.
And it was great, because I kind of got both my loves at the same time. Because when I didn't have access to Batman the Animated Series, I had Dragon Ball, and of course, then eventually Dragon Ball Z, and then Batman was kind of coming back into the fold. It was very serendipitous. So, point being, having gotten kind of been on the ride of Dragon Ball and just kind of getting what I could of it, going through the main story between the volumes of the manga and what I could get on when it aired on TV and Toonami and the chasing down the VHS tapes and the DVDs and so on and so forth, and the Shonen Jump with some of the Cell Saga and the Android Saga and ipso facto. I at this point I was tuning in on relatively a daily basis just to get caught up. I'm like, oh my god, what's going to happen next? And I was in the midst of this story, so specifically the Buu saga, like the literally post Majin Vegeta onward. Like that's when I was. This was the most dialed in like soap opera I was with Dragon Ball Z ever. I
Oh,
was like on the edge of my seat, and I will always love this arc for the like the just the unpredictability of what the heck is going to happen next. And we're throwing all sorts of weird curveballs at you. Um, just it was like an unfolding event that you're on the edge of your seat for, and yet there were all these stall tactics and everything, and like all the new kind of gimmicks and angles, and just all like the new wrinkles in the narrative, and that's what was fun about it. It's
oh,
like and so basically a mix of that, between the mix of that and like tracking down, the ending and the epilogue was like on the DVD volume. So I saw the main story as it aired on TV, and then I got a lot of the epilogue stuff because I was so hyped on what I was seeing, and I was really starting to track down like all the stuff that I had missed in Dragon Ball here and there, including our epilogue stuff, the Peaceful World kind of era. Afterwards from this. That's what I was tracking down on DVD. And like back when, every time I think about hunting down the stuff with Dragon Ball, I think I mentioned this in earlier installments. Uh, you know the Saturday matinee like video store at the mall where I would find like that's pretty much where everything was, and then there were like some other like DVD stores that would basically like kind of like sift through it. And I had a very direct focus, like, okay, a whole bunch of movies. Where are the shows? Do they have an anime? Is that Dragon Ball or Dragon Ball Z? Like, yes, there it is. I saw on the cover you have like, oh my god, there's Goku, Vegeta, and Dende, and this is like right after the Boo stuff. Like, I gotta know how it ends. That kind of.
yeah.
So there's a lot of enthusiasm on that one. This arc, I felt the saga pulled out all the stops. It was either basically it was kind of like either Toriyama just thinking on his feet, just not knowing, which we've seen before, him just thinking on his feet and not really having much of a plan and just kind of throwing random crap at the screen, but it worked wonders. Or just logically, it's like him thinking as a storyteller, like, how the heck do I top the Cell Saga? How do I measure up to that? And we have this. Just I was enamored by the arc of our silly pink genie character that loves candy, and just taking him. He just went on such a fantastic arc, which is what we really didn't have with Cell. Cell was more of like, we were building a threat, and we had just we really deconstructed the threat in every way we could with Majin Buu, and like the sympathy and the layers that went into that villain. I think he is one of the deepest kind of Dragon Ball Z villains in that regard.
It is kind of interesting it's also kind of Toriyama going back to his like gag manga stuff.
Which is great too. I mean, that's the other
and,
thing.
and,
So
and basically showing like a gag manga character, basically a living cartoon going up against what the Z fighters have become,
yeah.
if that makes sense.
Well, sure, but also I think it's Toriyama again. Like a lot of people have kind of looked at everyone who says the Cell Saga essentially is the all intents and purposes ending of Dragon Ball Z, and there's an argument to be had there. That is essentially what the ending was, and there was a break between them, and there was like a lot of hesitation before Toriyama went back. And I feel with that hesitation, it's like, hey, he was finding ways to keep things interesting for himself and justify the return. I think this was a big payoff. Like, I can do a gag manga villain who will also kind of tug at the heartstrings, and you'll feel something, and also be some really cool action stuff that we haven't seen. But there's a lot of gag manga humor in here, so we kind of started from Dragon Ball Z throughout it. We kind of pared down the gag manga humor to like I'm not going to say it wasn't there, but maybe to a minimum, and we really kind of, again, when we infuse the gag manga qualities in there, it does feel like we're going home again to where Dragon Ball's roots were, but we're still just in the in kind of the soap opera, and not soap opera in a bad way, soap opera in terms of the serialized nature of it.
You know,
Um,
you no longer have a teenage girl shooting a little kid.
no, 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 we're shooting puppies.
Yes, and it's actually treated as a serious thing this time.
That's true. Anyway, so I feel this one really discerns itself from the prior arcs, and ultimately this is going to be maybe a bit of a reach for a comparison, but I mean, in the grand scheme of things, because it was an ending, there is an endgame vibe to this. There really is. There is kind of like, I mean, honestly, between this and the lead up, with the Babidi saga, it's very much kind of like a bit of like, we're not as standalone as Infinity War is, but there is like it's the big lead up, and we end with a big sacrifice, and then we go directly into this is all going towards the end game now.
It does kind of make sense, and it does kind of have the classic JRPG, like all of your friends cheering you on so you can beat the final boss energy as well.
Exactly. So I still have so much fondness and love for the Buu saga. Rewatching it just makes it kind of re-energized me, made me feel my youth again. Just like, oh yeah, watching for the first time, and just it's fun. It's got great action that kept you guessing. It's everything you would want from kind of Dragon Ball Z when it's firing on all cylinders. I thought so. Yeah.
The great thing about Boo being the way he is that it allowed for a lot more creativity in the fights.
Oh yeah, and that was one of the best parts too, because again, Dragon Ball Z's kryptonite is repetitive action. That's the kryptonite.
I mean, say what you will about Cell, but it was just still more like a humanoid strong guy.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's tricky, That's the thing. Like people either love or hate Frieza, and if they love him, they love him. But even if you love him, it's there's a lot of wait. There's a lot of wait time, a lot of delays, and a lot of like, okay, and they're still fighting, and they're still transforming, and there's the Ginyu Force, and there's fake Namek.
It's kind of funny that the original Dragon Ball series didn't really have that problem.
No, it did not.
Mainly because probably the villains were more, even though they were still just regular people, they had more variety.
That's true.
Yeah. I guess I should give my thoughts on this then.
I mean, you can.
Like, well, well, again, this is my first. This is all still new territory for me, but I was obviously familiar with Boo throughout. I knew who Boo was, and I didn't know the inner workings of like the different Boos. I didn't know how that all worked. So it was kind of a unique experience going through all this and seeing everything for the first time. And I gotta say, it did kind of drag in some places, but overall, I'd say this is a satisfactory ending. I like my journey into Dragon Ball Z overall. See, tied it together.
Oh, yep. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Yep. Now I'll give my thoughts more as we go on, and I will say there even are some very surprising elements in this arc. Like it did a couple things I actually wasn't really expecting. So, and as I mentioned during Dragon, when Dragon was speaking, like one of the best things I can say is that Boo's elasticity and nature allowed him to basically allowed the fights to be a lot more creative than they had been before. So, I say that's a definite plus. So, let's get into it then, shall we?
Sure.
All right. All right, so we pretty much begin where we left off. Vegeta's sacrifice.
Yes. So, point being, we have taken the boys to the lookout. We're in crisis mode after Vegeta's sacrifice didn't take. Majin Buu just reformed. He's all good now. Again, he's a wad of chewing gum, so he's very hard to kill.
Yep, and so is Bobbity, as it turns out.
Well, that to be fair, that Buu healed him, so that's how that happened.
Well, he was just cut in half.
But also, he's like a cockroach, though, which he's kind of like in his design too. He's these unkillable kind of thing almost, So he's definitely
almost. Keyword there being almost.
That is true, not unkillable, but it's almost the head's intact. That is always the operative thing with anyone who can heal or is hard to kill.
Well, at least
the head must be intact.
Well, at least anybody with regenerative capabilities.
True. So, Plan B. Last ditch effort here, and again, all this within the 24-hour span, which is always the impressive thing about this arc and the Buffy arc.
Like, yeah, the last two major arcs of Dragon Ball take place over the course of like 1 to 2 days.
Yep.
I couldn't believe that. Like, wait, this is still the same day. This is still the day of the martial arts tournament.
They know how to make a day last in Toriyama land.
Yep.
So Goku teaches the boys fusion. Now, fusion, the way we do it here, at least in the anime, is we establish that he learned it from the metamorphs in other worlds. So when he was dead, presumably after the tournament, he's learned a few tricks and he's kind of met some other warriors from all across the galaxy, and the quadrants, and basically he learned this technique of how to do fusion, which we established. We even call it out here. We established a form of fusion. The Namekians essentially fused together, but that's a more permanent fusion. This is like so we kind of established what a fusion kind of is. Kami and Piccolo being the operative one.
Well, with Kami and Piccolo, that was more of a like they were a single being that was split apart anyway.
Well, true, but I'm just saying it's a thing the Namekians can do as well, like with nails, and Namekians can just they can fuse together as well. That you're right. That one's more of a reunion, but it's still kind of
And in the case of Nail, he pretty much became part of Piccolo.
exactly. So that the Namekian, we established Namekian fusion is still a very different thing. But the point being, fusion is something we've kind of we've toyed with, but we haven't really done full on the way we're doing it here. So Goku's learned a new trick, and he's teaching it to the boys while he still has time. But the clock is ticking, and they're very bummed out about Gohan and Vegeta, at least Vegeta and Gohan, seemingly dying.
Like, it's good. That does kind of remind me though. Like we always say Namekian, but every time in the dub I hear them just say a Namek.
Yeah, me too. And my dub also had Namek in there. I think you had the Bruce. Okay, I'm going to say this too at the top here. I'm going to be praising the score in this one, especially when I do that. So, Bruce Falconer, he is credited with the Toonami, basically the dub score, the rock and roll, which pretty much I'm sure is your opening that you had as well. So I think we're operating off the same music track.
Mine definitely had the guitar opening,
Yeah.
but the actual music was, I think, the original Japanese.
Well, there's where we might differ. I think I had the cooler music. Nothing against the Japanese original. Like obviously, the original Dragon Ball series had the original Japanese, which is fantastic. I'm just saying,
It's whatever version is available on Crunchyroll,
yes,
which is most likely the which is most likely the dub intro because because it didn't have the Chala in the original, and
yeah,
then it didn't have the new boy one when like episode 200 hit.
that's the thing. So the point being, the music that you heard in the opening essentially is what I had throughout the series.
Like I said, I didn't have the actual music within the episodes.
Yeah, regardless, I gotta show you. I gotta show you some clips. Remember that clip I showed you of like my Bulma?
Yeah.
So basically they took the track from the Falconer score and put it there, which is like one of the coolest pieces of music they ever did. Like basically the Vegeta theme.
And that wasn't in the original movie then.
No, it wasn't.
It works.
Yeah.
It works so well though.
I know that's what's sad about it. Regardless, my point is Bruce Falconer. The shorthand for who did the score, they call it the Bruce Falconer score, but I want to make a distinction at the top. I'm gonna say that, but the truth of the matter is he took a lot more credit than he actually deserved, apparently.
Huh.
But unfortunately, like basically, it's like a lot of other people did the score for it, and Bruce Falconer, he didn't do as much as those other guys. But he ended up just getting like the single credit. So it's I'm not sure. For example, I don't know if he did the iconic stuff, but I know he did a lot of stuff probably around the Saiyan saga and the early stuff. But beyond that, it's unclear like how much he stuck around for. So
is it kind of like a Shirley Walker and Batman animated series thing?
Well, if it's in the if it's in a positive sense, yes. If it's in a negative sense, might be a little more Bob Kane.
I mean, because like she was like the main composer and the score producer for ones we actually didn't do the music for.
Well, I know that's the thing. So I don't know if it might have been a little less cordial like that. Well, that's the thing. Obviously, Shirley Walker. Basically, I call him like this.
Or is it more like a Bob Kane kind of thing?
That's what I was. On my feet, from what I understand, it's more of a Bob Kane thing, but I could be wrong. It could optimistically it'd be more Shirley Walker. Like Shirley Walker had proteges and like supervised music, so she was still involved, but obviously she put in the most capable hands, and those guys got credit, like on the soundtrack and everything. They get.
I mean, I know that. I'm not trying to say she stole credit or undeserved.
Yeah, I know. I want to make sure people don't think we're saying Shirley Skywalker stole credit, but yes,
I'm trying to make sure I'm not. I'm trying to make sure
yeah,
I'm not saying that. Like, you get what I'm. You understand what I'm trying to
I
say.
understand what you're saying. The point being, if I understand that, if I understand the fandom, the Bruce Faulconer thing is that it was kind of like a Bob Kane thing where he got whether it was by his I think it was again or Funimation, whoever's like putting out like the soundtracks and also with the DVD releases and everything. Clearly, they're not doing their due diligence with the home video releases, and it feels like perhaps Falconer got more credit one way or another than he probably deserved. But they shorthanded like, oh yes, the Falconer stuff. So Falconer is involved. How involved in all the iconography with the score, I can't tell you, but just want to say so. If I say that, and I'm just praising score, I'm throwing Bruce Falconer out there. I just want you to think of look into all the other cool guys that did the score for Dragon Ball as well with that the American dub.
And like I said, I have like the newer like dub that was produced later with
All right.
still with the Japanese music in it.
Yes.
So I have
Anyway,
so I won't be operating under that, but I believe the English dub itself is mostly the same.
so the point being, the version that I have, which is that our English dubs is basically they have Namek, where I think upon when they did Kai, I think they changed it back to Namekian and everything. So yeah,
Oh yeah.
I think Namekian sounds better, but yeah, I'm with you. They say Namek, so
I mean, it's not. It feels more natural to say Namekian.
yes. Anyway, so we established. Point being, we established all the Mechians, regardless. Goku. So
Basically, they believe that in order to defeat Buu, they need to teach Trunks and Goten the way to fusion.
yes, because we've established, Goku was basically at this time he views it that he is as strong as he and Vegeta were on the same power level, which obviously wasn't enough to defeat Buu. So logically, they need a new solution here. So if we get the boys to fuse and have their powers combined, that might do the trick. So the other thing too is that we say this later on after Goku has his big, Super Saiyan 3 moment, which we'll get to.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Goku ultimately he wants, and this connects to where we left the Cell Saga. Goku didn't come back for a reason. He wanted the Earth to not have to rely on him to solve its own problems. He wanted like the next generation to, he wanted to pass the baton. He wanted to this specifically. The one of the main reasons he wants fusion, he wants the boys to do it, is he wants the next generation to save themselves, and he wants to give them the tools to do it, which is pretty admirable. It's
Yep.
Goku kind of taking on the Roshi mentor thing.
Until it gets to the point where he basically has to step in himself.
Exactly. That's because the whole situation just went crazy and just kept you guessing. And also probably Toriyama's realized, okay, I got to play this maybe a little safer than I would like.
Who knows?
Anyway, so but also I want to hit this too. I love the processing of the loss of Vegeta and Gohan, and specifically Piccolo mourning Gohan. Always
Yeah.
brought on the feels. Just seeing Piccolo is like taking a moment, and Goku expressing some saying Piccolo was always a member of the family, kind of a thing. It was very nice.
I mean, Gohan's one of his boy basically.
Exactly. So just still being very haunted by the loss of Gohan. It's just it touches you, and it brings it full circle for our last arc here, from where we were in the Saiyan side to where we are in the Buu saga.
Yep. After like Piccolo died, then now he believes Gohan's dead,
Yeah.
and of course Chi Chi's devastated as well.
So we bring everyone to the lookout after we save some of our wishes for the dragon, ultimately for no purpose, but we kind of save some wishes with the dragon. Everyone is brought to the lookout as Goku trains the boys, which will lead to some shenanigans later.
Yeah.
Let's see. Okay, so it's the Supreme Kai. So last we left Gohan, he was he was pretty much dying.
Yeah,
Not dead, but he was dying.
but the Supreme Kai found him and Kibito.
Yeah. Yeah, so he and Kibito, they save Gohan, and they basically in kind of an Empire Strikes Back moment. There is another. They kind of, okay, look, we're gonna take him to the land of the Kais, and we're gonna train him in the Z sword, basically the big MacGuffin of the saga, the Z sword.
And then which becomes a saga in and of itself.
Yeah, so it's kind of a Arthurian legend thing. He pulls the Super Saiyan pulls the sword from the stone, and we think, okay, we have the tool to stop Majin Buu. But more on that later. Meanwhile, Babidi and Boo, they're causing all sorts of chaos, looking for Piccolo and the boys, and even there's this creepy thing where he's broadcasting to everyone's thoughts on the Earth, which is here's the thing that's great about this. I never picked up on until recently.
Yeah,
The He's broadcasting his thoughts to everyone on the Earth, and this is a great foreshadow for what we do with the Spirit Bomb by the end. You know how we broadcast to everyone to save the day.
yep.
We kind of collectively reach out to everyone on the planet.
And then and then Bobbity kills someone for not knowing where they are.
Yep, just Bob again, very gruesomely blows a guy's head off.
Yep.
And then the uppity mother who was mad at Bulma, like I think, basically gives away those trunks. So just
Yep.
horrible. So we also have we established the one of the signatures of Majin Buu, the candy beam power,
They be
or the
able to.
transforming power.
And we saw that earlier with Deborah,
We did, but here we make it like it's on a mass scale. Like Majin Buu, he loves candy and sweets and food, and basically, the way he kills people en masse is he turns them into food and basically sucks it in like a vacuum.
which is which they play up like it's his innocence and joy that make it more terrifying.
So Majin Buu, we should probably just take a moment to talk about how great Majin Buu is. And we have several Majin Buus to talk about. So this is the beloved Fat Buu. We all love Fat Buu.
Or innocent Boo, as he's also known.
I mean, come on, it's Fat Buu.
I know, but he has there's innocent Boo, Kid Boo, Super Boo, Old Boo,
There's a lot of boos, a lot of boo boos.
Boo Boo, a Boo. Time to say goodbye to Prince of Boo Boo.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Anyway, so
He looks like a genie.
he does. But that's the thing. So Majin Buu essentially, he's a magic genie in essence, which is always kind of the weird, kind of fun thing with Majin Buu. He has the genie approach. He's been summoned, and he's in service to a cruel little master. And there's always the threat of sealing him away. But basically, Buu is like this innocent, large innocent child who's capable of extreme destruction. But importantly, he's being directed by Babidi to wreak havoc. And otherwise, he seems like a pretty cool guy. And this guy is Toriyama to a T with the gag humor.
It essentially is like the return of like a gag villain, but in this case, it's the gags are literally deadly.
Yeah, I mean, I love the dichotomy there. He's funny. He's very disarming when you first look at this character. But again, the destruction he's capable of, like he's flying through and destroying cities, and yet he's just eager about eating cake.
He can get blown to smithereens, and but the bullets basically go right through him.
Yeah, he's a genie crossed with chewing gum.
Goes right through me every time. Seemed appropriate.
Yeah, but yeah. So he's laying waste to all the cities as they're looking for Piccolo and the boys. And the important thing is he's going to West City, which is where Capsule Corp is. And the problem is he could destroy the Dragon Radar, which is the one thing they can't replace. Because they need the Dragon Balls. Without the radar, we can't find the Dragon Balls. So that's a problem.
So Goku sends Trunks. Yeah, and let's just say his grandma and grandpa aren't much help.
No, they're not, and they're pretty willing to die as well.
Yep, they're just like they. It's like basically we need to fight it so we can get out. He's like, we'll be fine.
Anyway, so Goku needs to buy Trunks some time, and he pulls out his special trick he was saving for Vegeta at the tournament. Had they been able to fight fairly.
Oh yeah.
Super Saiyan 3. So this is where we get one of the big iconic things from the Buu saga as well, which is like how do we top Gohan turning Super Saiyan 2 at the end of the Cell saga? Well,
Goku goes Super Saiyan 3.
Yep, which is where the running gag and even Codename Kids Next Door famously mock this. Just the idea that when we do our power ups the way we do with a human kind of character, with our Saiyan characters, well, we just give them longer hair, like really long hair.
Now, when did Kids Next Door reference this?
It was the kind of the Rashomon pizza episode, like how the
Oh,
whole pizza delivery, and we had
oh,
number four did a parody of like Dragon Ball, basically Dragon Ball Z with the Frieza saga, but maybe it was like a touch of the Buu saga with like how big the hair went when they powered up.
oh yeah, now I remember. Like, all this because you couldn't get a pizza.
Yes.
Hello, I got your pizza. They just had to go to the store to get it. That's all they had to do,
All they had to do.
and they couldn't even do that.
No. Okay, regardless, I was remembering the promo and everything. Like in the clip here, we had the transformation. We had the most serious looking Goku we've ever seen in our lives.
With
Which is always
longer,
that is the other fun thing with Super Saiyan 3. Again, it's like the more again when you go to Super Saiyan 2 beyond, the stakes get a little higher, and Super Saiyan 3 is like, oh boy, he's as serious as he's going to get. His eyebrows are gone.
like his eyebrows are gone. He has like the curl in front of his head.
Yeah, all of his body hairs went to the went to the back.
Like, so he basically has a mullet.
Yeah, giant mullet, like a giant Sonic the Hedgehog mullet.
I mean, what else would you call that?
No, no, it's awesome.
I mean, yeah, it's like the greatest mullet you've ever seen.
True, but this was always like a very wild visual that just really it just struck up the memorability and just like I remember the whole thing like Bobby saying someone needs a haircut, that was always like the.
Good luck cutting a Saiyan's hair, though.
And we even had this whole like I love that in the episode because again he's stalling, he's buying time. We have like him demonstrating Super Saiyan 1, 2, and then 3.
Like, but there's a big issue with him doing this, though. It eats up his time remaining on Earth because Goku's still technically dead on borrowed time.
Yes, that's true. Literally on borrowed time. Yeah, he had a day pass, and he's basically burnt through the day pass for plot reasons.
Or because, well, he had kind of had to do it because of Super Saiyan 3.
Well, that's the thing. Yeah, I'm just saying, like, look, for literally the consumption of energy to burn through, it's like a proviso we were not made privy to. So, but again, it's more a plot convenience. But I'm saying in the universe, there's a reason for it, so that's good enough. It's just, rant. That's
It's kind of a
why we
lawyer.
had it.
It was a very lawyery thing for you to say right there.
Yeah.
Privy, no, I don't even remember what it was anymore.
Okay.
Like, so yeah, so Babidi he basically tries to get him to basically fight, and the fight is pretty impressive.
I
But
love the move where he's basically like almost like a ball on a string. He's like he punching Majin Buu while holding on to the antenna,
yep, he taking advantage of the stretchiness.
which is just so much fun. Now the important thing is that we have a really good fight, and Goku, despite the serious look on him, he's showing Boo a lot of respect, and this is an important thing for where we end the saga is that he does have a lot of fun fighting this unbeatable foe in Majin Buu, and he's the only one so far to show Boo respect instead of insulting him, making fun of him, or like talking down to him.
Which actually also makes us foreshadowing to how he eventually both turns good and evil.
Exactly.
Like, and when Goku finally realizes he's running out of time, he promises Boo a greater fight, but then also gives him basically lays the early hint to break free from Babidi.
Yeah, yeah. So he's putting the idea in his head that why are you taking orders from that guy? You're the powerful one. And then the whole 2 days. They'll just give us 2 days. I can give you an even better fight. Like a fighter is even stronger than I am.
Yep.
Of course, Boo's very intrigued by this. Again, he's all about like the fun and thrill of the fighting, which is the common ground that he and Goku have, and that's again our hint that there is good in Majin Buu that we haven't really brought out yet. He's a destructive child, but still, it's basically in a sense, Fat Buu is Goku. Had Bulma been evil, that's kind of what we would have had. If Bulma was evil, we could have had Majin. Goku would have been Majin Buu.
Instead of wanting a boyfriend.
Exactly.
If she was basically Pilaf and basically someone like Pilaf and found the Dragon Balls.
Sure.
Yeah, I know.
All right, so Boo
She's more competent. Go on.
Yeah, anyway, so you're right. So Boo kills Bobbity very brutally.
Yes, he like he basically realizes that Goku is right. He does not need Babidi, and so
Bye bye.
like, he basically blasts Majin Babidi's like he blasts Babidi's head off.
Yeah, I mean, he punches it. Honestly, he punches his head clean off and then blows him up.
And like I love how I like the point of how they kind of how they hint that without actually showing it. Like they show it from kind of Babidi's perspective, like
Yeah,
the screen, like the fist hits the goes to the screen, but then you see like the see it kind of fill up with red.
yeah,
So basically, it's like, oh, he really punched his head clean off.
that he did. So Goku's out of time because of the Super Saiyan 3 hot dog, and it's up to Piccolo to train the boys now.
And nobody really wants to teach them because of the fusion dance being embarrassing.
Which is just really still just so the fusion dance. Tell me you, I gotta admit, being the fan that I was, I did memorize the fusion dance. I think we all did. It was just so it was such a cool concept. It's the idea. Unfortunately, I had no one to fuse with,
Oh,
but it was. Oh yeah, I remember that when they had the action figures, they had like Goten and Trunks like in the Super Saiyan in the fusion pose. So you could have them kind of like fuse. I think Gotenks probably was in the set as well.
like fusion. Ha!
Ah,
We didn't sync up, Dragon.
well I know you didn't tell me we're gonna fuse.
I know. Should we try it again?
All right, okay, we turned fat, but now it's worn off. Okay, so fusion.
Ha!
Ha!
All right. But yeah, so the training actually does kind of work, and the first fusion that we see is Fat Gotenks.
Oh, those remind two things. Okay, so one, heartfelt goodbye between Goku and Goten.
Yeah, I was sad to see him
Yeah, a
go.
little hug. It was kind of nice.
Aw.
Um, Also, we should probably mention if we did fuse, Blue Jacob 5.
Yes. Works for me.
Yeah, or Wild Dragon 5.
Wild or just Wild Dragon.
Well, possibly, but I guess yeah.
Oh, both work.
Anyway, so so there's a lot of before we get to the fusion to the Go tanks of it all. So there's a lot of overload in other worlds, which I like that we established all the dead people, and the king was like he's just so ticked off about like he's constantly busy because of all the dead people. We should hit on King Yama because we might be talking about King Yama or relatives of King Yama and some other stuff coming up.
Ooh.
Just remember King Yama.
King Yama.
Yeah. So, anyways, there's a lot of overflow in another world. Meanwhile, Goku, he learns that, Gohan is in fact alive. He reunites with him in the land of the Kais, and, the little father and son game of catch with like an unbreakable cube,
And then
and it breaks
break
the sword.
all because the Supreme Kai had to throw the most unbreakable object in the universe, most unbreakable stone in the universe at him.
It was just like a game of catch with the sword.
And then it was supposed to cut it in half, and nope, it didn't work.
Yep. So it free, however, sealed within the sword is something even more powerful.
Old Kai.
The Elder Kai. So Elder Kai, Old Kai is released, and basically this is our Master Roshi S Kai figure, who is
who's very much like like Master Roshi.
and Goku has his number. He knows that. Okay, I love that Goku had a suspicion. So Goku is pretty smart when it comes to training and tactics and this stuff, where he can suss out that okay, this guy's probably like Master Roshi. I'm going to try to negotiate here.
And he promises a kiss.
Not just any kiss. So this is actually initially he suggested Videl, which is just messed up.
It's like, Dad, we're not gonna have her kiss my girlfriend. Have him kiss my girlfriend. I think that's a dumb thing because they weren't actually dating yet at that point.
Right. Well, I think it was just said Videl, but
Yeah. We're not gonna have her kiss Vidal.
All right, so old Kai, he's offering to unlock Gohan's potential. It's a 20-hour process, but he can unlock his potential. We always had potential with Gohan, but again, he's been really laxed in the training until the tournament, so it's kind of dormant. But there's a lot again. The kid who defeated Cell, there's a lot of potential in there, which would easily help them. And he was already, he could measure up to Buu with this potential. So also all this a lot of stall tactics. Admittedly, the most annoying but hilariously annoying stall tactic was just like old Kai just doing his silly dance like around Gohan for like and then reading in front just forever.
And then like reading like a gag manga. It looks like.
Well, that's the thing too, and you got to remember it's the idea that the Bibbidi Saga. It's like we built up Gohan as like our main character, and then Toriyama has realization of like, well, Gohan's more of a reactionary character, so we really do need Goku back.
And,
anyway,
and who does he promise? Who does Goku promise old Kai, to give a kiss?
So Goku negotiates, and I love that he wants Gohan to negotiate this on his behalf too, because Gohan's still alive. He's just getting Goku, as far as he's concerned. Well, I'm dead. I don't have to talk to her. Gohan, you need to do this for me. He's basically he suggests Bulma.
Oh God!
Which, admittedly, I would train Gohan in exchange for some Bulma kisses. I'm not gonna lie to you, but yeah,
I don't think she'd like that though.
no, she wouldn't. No,
she would be the first one to kick your butt.
Well, yeah. I mean, to be fair, I'm not an old Kai. First of all, so I mean, I think my chances might be a little better, but I don't know.
But you're also not Vegeta.
That's true. I'm not Vegeta, Jacob.
Yep. As much as all of us wish we could be.
I can stare people down like Vegeta, though.
Yep. Like, I don't know many people that do wish to be Vegeta because he was for the longest time he was a genocidal monster.
That's true as well.
So yeah.
Yeah.
But he's better now, so
yeah.
Yay. So yay.
Pretty much. All right. So meanwhile, Piccolo's training the boys, and we have this hilarious gag of Piccolo. Word to the wise: never train children around their mothers, with their mothers around.
Yeah, because they're basically insufferable.
Just which is hilarious, just compared to how it was with Gohan. Just he took him away from his mother, and now it's like with them around, like they're yelling at Piccolo and just like bossing him around, which is just hysterical.
Yep.
So after some trial and error, we get Gotenks.
Yep, and he basically amplifies Trunks' cockiness.
So yeah, Trunks is the dominant personality for sure. It really feels like Trunks got a power up. That's kind of what Gotenks feels like.
Yep, along with Goten's patent latent power as well.
Yeah. So first, with the trial and error of the fusion dance, we get fat Gotenks, and then we get super old Gotenks, and then eventually we crack the code, but they turn Super Saiyan.
And they refuse to train further.
Yes, they're cocky enough to think they can take on Buu. So here's a difference for you. So in the manga, it was a full-on gag in which Gotenks, before going Super Saiyan, just goes to face Majin Buu, like flies off. Piccolo says, "No, wait!" And then just flies off, and then like moments later comes back, and we see him all beat up. And says, "I lost," and everyone just did the fall over. So that's how it was in the manga, which admittedly is pretty good, and probably the way we should have gone. But what we have in the anime, we see the fight, we see the battle doesn't go well. It's not bad, but ultimately, if I could make an alteration, it's like honestly, I like a lot of the filler and a lot of the stall tactics we have in this. That is the one I would agree with. Like it would. We have like 3 rounds of a fight later on. This is like the added like pre-round we don't really need. But either way, the fight happens. We just see it. So either way, we still water down like the dramatic 3 nature of what we get later. So it's kind
of probably starting to probably also be one of the things that they trimmed in Kai as well.
Oh, absolutely.
One of these days, I'll watch actually finish this section of Kai.
Well, if Kai had its way, there would be no Buu Saga.
What do you mean?
No, I mean, originally Kai didn't do the Buu saga, and then eventually he's like, well, we got to do it.
Yeah, and then unfortunately, I said I stopped watching the Kai version before they got to the Boo saga.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's why, like I said, that's why I basically said I saw almost everything up to I think it was the androids or the Cell saga. I don't remember exactly where I got cut off,
All right,
but
anyway.
so so yeah, basically the training goes on from there.
But not for long. So again, we're still honestly within like after Goku's day is up. We still have a lot going on between the day and it's like barely a week goes by if you really look at it.
Yeah, it's basically the entire like this entire saga takes place over the course of a couple days.
Exactly. Because remember, Boo's operating on 2 days, but remember when he goes home. First of all, I always loved that Boo created like this little, his little house,
Yeah, but then like, oh look, it's nice having fun in his house. Then you remember it's made of people.
which is still it's dark, but it's really funny.
Yep,
It's like soil and green. It's made of people.
like his house is people.
Yep. Those is food. His food, his house, it's all people.
Even the toilet.
Yeah.
which
I certainly of course we had the toothpaste gag with that too, but yeah.
which was like, oh no. I kind of figured they wouldn't show it, but
It's interesting though, Toriyama, and we saw this a little bit in when we had the Ariel.
Aurelie.
I know, yeah, man. I knew at the moment I said Aurelie. We had the Aurelie Penguin Village episode, General Blue from Dragon Ball. We we did see the colorized poo gag, and when it's colorized, it is pink. And I did wonder, like, wait a minute.
Mm.
I mean, there's a lot of gross questions to ask with Majin Buu because we do have a bathroom joke later on as well.
Yeah,
But thankfully, we do not get answers to those questions. Anyway,
thankfully. We don't need to know how the characters do that.
okay. The point being, we have some Buu shenanigans going on here, which again give some hints as to Boo not being all bad and there being a chance at some either redemption or growth. And for example, we see he wants love and acceptance, and we have like the darker side of that with the kissy face gag, which I remember from the marketing on that Toonami block, where it's like Boo, he girl's horrified by him. He's looking like a Frankenstein looking for female companionship moment. He sees a magazine, he molds his face, and he's trying to kissy face with like the elongated lips and everything. He's like, "You afraid of Boo? And let me turn you into candy," that kind of thing.
He even does like the deep voice, like "You love me, baby,"
Which is just really funny.
and then he finds
Literally says, "Is Boo sexy?"
he's like, oh god, and then
Hey, it's what he says.
I know he says that. I remember, and then he meets the blind kid.
Now this is great, and this is our big I for yeah, actually this was also this is in the manga. This part made the cut in the manga, I think.
Like, and what happens was like the blind kid isn't running from Boo, which confuses him because everybody's been running from him, and everyone's terrified of him. Like, and his kid was basically going to find milk, going to get some milk, and so Boo wanting him to be like, "Hey, Boo, famous." It's like wow. I'm not explaining it very well, but then what happens is Boo actually heals him and gives him sight, which is a first clue at what Boo can do.
Yeah, so he can heal instead of destroy, and the boy is not terrified. The boy is like he's eternally grateful, and this is a foreshadow for what's going to happen with the dog later. And Boo's like, okay, I'm going to do something. He offers him money, which is not food, so he doesn't care. And he flies off and gets some milk, which of course is well. I was going to make a joke, but it's maybe too dark.
Well,
Um,
essentially he goes to get milk by turning the milkman into milk.
yes.
And then he gives it to the boy.
Yes.
Which is
I mean, it's kind of tasty cannibalism.
Almost.
I'm just saying it's the most appealing form of cannibalism is kind of what Boo
The
does.
the question is the old man just the carton or is he also the milk?
No, he's the milk. It's the whole thing.
Then what's the carton?
I mean, that's like his skin, I guess. I don't know.
And then so his insides were the milk.
I guess maybe. I mean, look, okay. There's like if you want to be all scientific, it's like the whole transmogrification things. Like every molecule of that food item is the guy. I mean, what part is what? It's a question, but I mean, technically, it's not cannibalism because he's not biting into like other human parts, but
But
he
he's
is a
also
human being though.
but he was a human being.
It's like the whole conservation of matter thing, where it's like not it's just displaced and changed, but it's
On
still
ontological inertia or something like that.
yeah. Anyway.
The question is like if the milk was drank and the guy was turned back,
Well,
how does
that's the
that
thing. The Boo never turned. Well, we've only had one case of him turning someone back from being chocolate.
like it says everybody killed by Boo, so
That's what I'm saying. When he eats them, they're dead. We've established that much. If they're turned into candy and they're eaten, they're dead.
yeah, but then jumping a bit ahead, the wish was to bring back everybody killed by Boo.
Yes.
So that's the question: is that guy brought back normal, or is part of him missing?
No. I'm saying he's like he's dead. I mean, like his insides are gone. If he's alive, so he's still dead. So he gets revived.
This is it becomes more terrifying the more you think about it.
Well, plus technically he'd be floating in space, but
It's because it just raises too many questions.
okay. Anyway, okay. So the point being, we get to the best part of the Blue Saga, which there are a lot of contenders for.
They talk about Mr. Satan.
Yes, so Hercule and Boo, their gag manga friendship is like to me has always been the heart and the highlight of the Boo saga. It's like the cornerstone of why this arc has. It's the one thing this arc has none of the other arcs have.
Yeah, well, basically, what Mr. Satan is trying to live up to being the savior of the world, and gets close to Majin Buu in order to stop him from destroying the world by like blowing him up, feeding him like laced candy, things like that.
So that's yeah. So Hercule again. He's been a punchline. He's been this one note character. And this was a brilliant stroke on Toriyama's part to take a character no one really expects anything substantial with. He's a gag. We established through the Cell Saga. He's like the punchline character. And
Basically,
we
basically like Macho Man Randy Savage meets Hulk Hogan, kind of.
yeah, and a little bit of J. Jonah Jameson thrown in there, but yeah,
Especially with the voice, yeah.
yeah.
Like, and the strange thing is, like, a strange friendship forms between him and Majin Buu.
Which is just great. It's the idea that Hercule he goes again. Hindsight's that Hercule does very well with very stupid people. I'm not trying to put Majin Buu down with that, but I'm saying in terms of like a naive, childlike kind of mentality, it's kind of like in a way, the way Hercule charms the world and the populace, it would go very well with a very young, naive, kind of yet destructive creature that he is deathly terrified of, which is hilarious.
Like, the entire time he's trying to kill him, and Boo has no idea. He thinks she's just like playing, or he even rigs a Game Boy to explode.
I love that. That was I love that. So the Hercule game.
Yep.
So that's like so. Just the heart of the arc. Just this is the stuff that Tori. You get the sense of it too that Toriyama loved this stuff. He was able to do a full on gag manga with these Hercule Boo segments. So all these cowardly tactics. He gives him poison chocolate, gives him a Game Boy that blows up. Which I love that specifically a Game Boy.
Yeah, well, call it something else for copyright reasons.
Yeah, but I'm saying when you look at it though, it's designed like the Game Boy.
Like, an OG Game Boy, like the thick, fat Game Boy.
Yeah, perfect for a fat Boo.
Yep.
And then we have him like taking like just some commemorative photos, which essentially will make it look like okay, well if I can't defeat him, at least make it look like I defeated him.
Yep. And then the way he gets Majin Buu to stop, basically saying like, "Hey, cut it out."
Pretty much. We also got to talk about the dog.
B.
So B the dog, and this essentially is the upgraded version of the blind kid, where Boo comes back as Hercules, basically a servant, like cooking him dinner and everything.
Yep.
And he shows up, and we have B the dog. He's like injured, like he's like says, he no run away, why? And he says,
Like
uh, you
Mr.
know,
Mr. Satan's actually persistent. Like he can't run away. He's hurt.
it's like so he heals the dog, and the dog is now happy. Like this is why he's now he's not scared. He's not running away. Oh, well, that's because he likes you, Boo. You healed us. He likes you, Mister Boo. You healed his leg. Look at him.
And B is just cute.
Yeah. It's adorable little family that Boo was kind of forged here, and I love that Hercule, like, he was going to blow him up, he's going to blow the house up. Clearly, it wouldn't have worked, so thank goodness he didn't do this. But either way, it was like he couldn't bring himself to do, especially with the dog there. It's like, no, I can't. I love that. So Hercule just making a very human call and just having like he's beyond the bluster and his own ego, and he just realizes he has like him having a moral realization. I just love it when he's looking at he tears up the photo. It's like, forget my ego. This isn't right. I don't need to do this for publicity or anything. And this is after he got the win, by the way. After he has his big Cosgrove moment of like,
Hey,
hey, cut it
cut it
out.
out. Basically,
This
basically, because he realized, like, why do you destroy things? Because I was told to.
well, hurting people's bad. It's not good. It's just like so can have you ever like he doesn't even tell him to stop doing. He's just like, have you ever thought about not killing people,
Huh.
not destroying things?
And then that basically convinces Boo to give it up.
Which is great, but again, it's just the fact that someone just treated him civilly and just asked him or posed the question like, "Why do you do this?" I mean, have you ever thought about not doing the bad thing?
And then that does get Boo to stop. Like it is a good reminder that he does kind of have the mind of a child.
So it's just great. It's like Hercule actually being a good role model here in a
And
sense.
and in a way, he actually did kind of save the world.
Which I just love. So this is like Hercule's first honest victory ever, and after that is like he's tearing up the photo of like him beating Boo and everything, where he very easily could have spun the narrative, which ultimately he kind of does, but he doesn't do it like it's a little more like not his fault in that case. But in this case, like Hercule, he's achieved an honest victory, and he's not gonna like kind of showboat about it. He's just like tears up the photo of like him lording over a defeated Majin Buu, and he's just like what this is. He's very proud of himself here, and it's deservedly so. It's the one time he did something genuinely heroic.
Yep.
And all goes well until these two guys, Van Sant and Smitty, John Wick Boo's dog, and then Hercule for a time.
Yep. Leave now.
This was always shocking. The fact that they shot the dog, and then they shot Hercule, and this is what I'm talking about. I'm on the edge of my seat watching. It's like, oh my god, no! Like, what is happening? And then, Boo tell him like what did Boo say?
Like, leave now.
And no, and just scaring Hercule's like, yeah, yeah. And he takes the dog. They get out of there, and then
He told him to get away because he knew that things were about to go south, and he didn't want Hercule to want Mister Satan to be there.
which is really nice. I love the thing where like all the Boos, even to some degree, well, for a little, well, he still had Fat Boo in him. That's why it worked. Kid Boo for a brief time. They all had a soft spot for Mister Satan.
And B.
Well, and yes, Mister Satan and B. And we have this. I always love like the little steam effect with Boo. Boo has these holes in his head that basically, when he gets mad, he gets steamed. Like all this steam comes out of his.
And for a while, it seems like it's just like kind of a funny cartoon gag effect, kind of.
We got a lot of mileage out of it in terms of like it's how he can regenerate, and it's also how we can show anger in the gag expressions, but also it births evil. So he basically separates. He kind of diffuses a part of himself here. So he's basically decided to purge all the evil in his body here. And I want to say, if I'm to read into it, I want to say Boo does this. This is his way of like he's suppressing the desire to break. He doesn't want to break his word, Mister Satan. He doesn't want to hurt these guys. He doesn't want to like kill or destroy or anything. And to keep that promise, he expunges the evil. And in
And all
expunging the evil, it's sentient.
kind of like with Kami and Piccolo.
Yeah, So yeah, so we have this was always a very memorable. This was a contender, by the way, for one of the images, but obviously we couldn't really do a proper split of it. It would have been. I love the cover of the VHS cover of like Evil Boo, the skinny Evil Boo, and Fat Majin Buu.
Oh yeah, he's we only see Evil Boo very briefly
Yeah,
before he defeats and absorbs Fat Boo.
yeah. So he turns. So basically, he redirects the transforming beam right back at Fat Boo, and Fat Boo turns into chocolate, and he eats the chocolate.
I'll take this chocolate and eat it.
Yeah,
That's a reference if you guys don't hit for those of you out there.
yeah.
So, all right, I know you don't. You probably don't understand it, but
Right.
I'll take this chocolate and eat it.
It's not a SpongeBob reference, right?
No,
Because I'm thinking of the chocolate bar when you say that.
no, it's a reference to Death Note.
Ah, all right. Anyway, so Evil Boo, becomes Super Boo essentially. It's kind of what we're calling the. I know technically he doesn't become Super Boo. Well, you can split hairs. The way I always looked at it is that Super Boo is when the skinny Evil Boo has absorbed Majin Buu and he becomes like he's more pink in his hue and color and everything. And he gets better from there when he absorbs everyone else. But let's just call him Super Boo for simplicity's sake.
After he absorbs Fat Boo.
Exactly. So when basically you can make the argument it's just Evil Boo, but he's a lot more pink in color and he's a lot more evolved. But Super Boo, it just feels that because he does kind of change the look of that guy.
And for a moment, Mr. Satan actually does very well against one of the gangsters here.
Well, no, he did. That was before this. Before he got shot, he stopped them, and that's what the Boo was going to freak out over the dog, and then Hercule got justice for him, and then he saved the dog.
I'm just saying, Mr. Satan actually did really well against the guy.
Oh, of course. I mean, these are human people. He can fight human people very easily.
Yep. But but then this leads to like probably like the most gruesome death in the entire series.
Yeah. Super Boo takes revenge on Van Sant and Smitty, and Smitty gets the worst of it brutally. He kills our gunman.
And by basically turning this is an early indication of just what Evil Boo is capable of.
Yeah.
He basically
Liquefied.
he liquefies himself, forces him down. Was it Smitty or Van Zandt in this one?
Well, Van Sant was the fat guy who got so he was the one who had the gruesome inflation death.
So Van Zandt forced himself down Van Zandt's throat,
No, Smitty.
Smitty's throat,
Yeah.
basically engorging him to the point where he blew up.
Which is always, again, this too in the marketing was always like the big creepy. This is one of the reasons it sticks out too. Just oh my god, it was such a terrifying death. And at the same time, Jacob, okay, as a kid, okay, that happens, and then same block. Hey, Batman Beyond. It's the Ink episode, the first, the Blackout episode from Batman Beyond, in which that happens to Terry McGinnis, only thank goodness he does not blow up.
Well, did they do that on purpose or?
No, I'm just saying it was like a serendipitous thing where you have a liquidy kind of villain who can do that, and they would try that.
That's just to quote Double D. That's disturbing.
Yes, it is. Anyway, so brutally we blow up Smitty, just pink goo everywhere. Oh, it's terrifying.
Yeah, yeah. That was like it's probably like the most. There's been a lot of brutal deaths in this series, including like the guy who got absorbed by Cell.
Yeah, this tops that
easily.
So, but again, we have this great bit where he's charging towards Hercule, but he can't hurt Hercule because Fat Boo is in there.
Yep. He
All
still
right.
he still has a soft spot for Mr. Satan.
Which is, I love that governing principle with the character. And again, it gives you hope that there's a way out, there's a way to defeat him, and ultimately, how it pays off is fantastic when we get to like the big action scene in the third act. So, He goes instantly. He goes to the lookout and he demands the fight. And his love, he says, "Produce!" And so we should mention the voice of Super Boo.
Yep, Jason. Like, what's his? Yep. What about him?
You don't know who it is, do you?
Like I remember reading it, but now I don't exactly remember what it was.
Justin Cook, who is the voice of he's done a few characters before already. He's Raditz. That was always the cool thing. He played Boo and he played Raditz, and plays being a Funimation guy's played a number of roles, but also he is from Yu Yu Hakusho. He is Yusuke Urameshi in Yu Yu Hakusho.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, but this was always like a fun character for him, just playing this more the most imposing version of Boo. So he demands the fighter that was promised to him, because you got to remember though. So Boo, in kind of Leisure League, when he's setting up his people house, and he's taking a nap and he's making breakfast and everything. He thinks just when he goes to sleep and wakes up, that counts as a day, which is more of
even
a
even if it was only like 5 seconds.
exactly. So the point being, our guys are screwed here in terms of like the 2 day window they were guaranteed. And there's a panic going on here. So they show up, they demand the fighter, and Piccolo's getting desperate. So the desperation is like the really cool thing with this story too, like with our time frame, as we've been kind of toying around with here. Demands a fight. Piccolo is stalling any which way he can. Even suggests you should kill everyone on the earth. Is just a way to buy time.
And then he does.
So
And
this, to me, has always been the coolest villain moment in all of Dragon Ball Z, no question. The human extinction attack with the Bruce Falconer, basically the Toonami dub, the Funimation Toonami era dub.
uh,
Just like one of the next to Vegeta's theme. This is always like the coolest musical theme ever. As he just kills everyone on the planet with like this one blast in the air while he's staring Piccolo down.
I me like, basically killing everyone from the lookout within just like a minute.
Which again, everyone, but again, importantly, not Hercule, not the dog, not Be the dog, and I think just by I forget if in the manga you see it. I know we see in the anime here, but I forget if we see them ducking for cover. Uh, Tien and Chiaotzu.
Yeah, but then that's like the only time we see them, and like that's the first time we've seen them in like 50 episodes.
That is true. And we established in the last arc, like we're not going to see Tien.
Yeah, but then we see them for like 3 seconds,
Yeah.
and then they appear later on in the arc, and they barely do anything.
Yes.
It's basically just a reminder, like, hey, remember these two? They exist.
Look, I love Tien. I don't mind any Tien we get, as long as he's like not written off like launch. I'll take it.
Yeah.
Anyway, so point being, the human extinction technique wipes out everyone, and then it's like, okay, God, he's still coming. We need to throw the boys in the hyperbolic time chamber to buy as much time as we can. Which I admittedly, it was silly that we didn't use the hyperbolic time chamber in the first place. We kind of had like a little like writing thing just to kind of keep them out of there. It wasn't a good reason. It was like, the hyperbolic time chamber can only be used sparingly, but this is absolutely an emergency situation. I don't know why we didn't do this in the first place, but story reasons. Point being, we're gonna put them in there now. We need to buy as much time as we can. So they're pleading for an hour, and basically, I always love this. Piccolo, it's Piccolo being fused with Kame, and having the ears that he does, and being on the lookout. He does keep watch over the whole planet. So he was keeping eyes on what Hercule was doing this whole time, which is, I love that. That's great. And we have a really great arc where Piccolo comes to respect Mr. Satan, which is awesome.
And even make sure Videl knows.
Yeah, so I love this whole thing where Piccolo points out that girl over there. That's Mr. Satan's daughter. She wants you to wait an hour.
And then he actually tries to wait.
Which I love that. I love Piccolo explaining to Videl like what's going on there, and plus again, I just love the fact that Videl and Piccolo have the bond with Gohan that they do, a very deep seated bond. Like Videl knew that Gohan wasn't dead, and she was the only one who didn't give up hope that he was alive. because she could feel it. And Piccolo, I think already there's kind of a connection there, and just the fact that
And everyone else attributed to like to be young and in love.
yeah, but it's just something really, really sweet about that. That Piccolo and Videl being the closest bonds beyond his own family that Gohan had. It was just
Yeah.
so again, he really Piccolo just tells Videl what her father actually did something really heroic, even after she learned the truth about her father in the previous arc. She gets a lot of respect for Hercule, which is really nice.
It is.
Of course, Chi Chi does not fare well in this situation. Jacob, what happens to Chi Chi?
She she basically charges Majin Buu.
She's upset about him killing Gohan, seemingly killing Gohan, slaps him, and oh boy.
And she gets turned into chocolate.
No, she doesn't get turned into chocolate.
What? Okay, what? I forget. Okay, what happens to her?
She gets turned into an egg, and he stomps on the egg.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. I
And
remember
and
now.
Goten is like he wants to kick the crap out of Super Boo, but he just like obviously the mincemeat. So they go to hyperbolic time chamber, and he's really intense about the training because he's upset that he killed Chi Chi.
Oh yeah.
All right, so they have essentially gotten 15 days of training in, and in that 15 days, we have a properly rounded, but also, thanks to Trunks, a showboating Gotenks.
He's definitely his father's son.
Absolutely. It's the fun of Goten and his family, but infused into the cockiness of Vegeta and his family via Trunks.
Basically, he gets both his father's and mother's attitude.
Yep, I love the gag of like his Gotenks. They do the fusion, and then like Boo is like he instantly punch. I actually before they do the fusion, like Boo punches Trunks. Like I said, wait. So we have this fight with Gotenks. We have the fusion and everything, but they did not go Super Saiyan at first because they're cocky, but it's part of a plan. We have 3 rounds for this fight. So round one essentially is the warm up fight where seemingly we have Gotenks pulling out some stops here, and then we have just Super Boo saying, "Can I fight now?" I was like, "Oh God, that is not the thing you want to hear."
Oh boy. Because like you told me not to fight.
Which God, I forgot how great a bit that was. So round two, he turns Super Saiyan, and then we have all the cool moves, and that was the fun thing with Gotenks had all like the cool, like it seemingly improvised moves, and it's a question of it's ambiguous how much of them are improvised in the moment. They're definitely named in the moment versus them kind of having strategized in 15 days.
Like yeah, including what part? Including the whole ghost kamikaze bombs.
So we have the Cosmic Halo, and by the way, in the Kakarot game, you can do these moves. The Cosmic Halo, which is great. They have the headbutt. You can't do that in the game, but still, you have like the headbutt move, which was made the cover of one of the DVDs, which is great.
Nice.
And then we have so also we should mention too. So with Gotenks and Piccolo have a gag manga dynamic, which is priceless. So Piccolo's he's driven up a wall by these fused children. He's like they're showboating and they're being silly, and he just wants them. This is a serious situation, you guys. Focus.
The entire time, it's like Piccolo's just wanting them to just fight already, but like, and the entire time, Gotenks just wants the fight to carry. I was like, I want this to be epic. I want this to be awesome.
And Piccolo just like hitting them on the head and everything. You idiots, get serious.
And then they do things like the ghost kamikaze. Can you do that in Kakarot?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, you can do. Yeah, so the kamikaze ghost attack you can do, and it's great. So I just love this kamikaze ghost attack. The fact that they all have like a little bit of personality, and they're all like multiple stooges, and they're numbered. And like, but again, if they touch each other, like they shake hands, they blow up. Hence the kamikaze namesake. Now, I forgot how much I love this. So when they actually do the kamikaze thing and it succeeds, it's the first time we see Boo genuinely hurt, and it's like, oh my God, that's awesome. He's all melted and like freaky. He's very not John Carpenter. He's very Cronenberg looking.
And it's a good room, and it's a good way to show that Boo actually can be hurt.
Yeah, but again, they're wasting time showboating. Then Boo is reconstituted himself, and he's just like he's drinking a soda and reading a magazine, which is just
Or what about the part where they like try and they blast all of his bits away, but he's been reforming above them the whole time.
well that's the thing. So they well, I'm saying first there's the soda gag, and then they basically they actually do they have this great thing where the kamikaze are like, oh look at this over here, and he's going over there, and then they they grab onto him and he blows up, and that seemingly kills him. They're blasting away the parts, thinking it's over, and yeah, so then he's reformed above them the whole time. So it's just oh boy. So again, that's so after that has happened, they Gotenks has an idea like, okay, I'm about to pull out my big stop here, but he's milking it for the drama, and then that leads Piccolo to use his fail-safe idea, and I love this so much. So Piccolo had a really good fail-safe in mind if all else fails. And it's a really good idea.
To basically trap them in the hyperbolic time chamber forever.
Yeah, which is always the thing with the hyperbolic time chamber. Like, because remember, there's a whole thing of like after a certain amount of time, the doorway will go away. But yeah, if that doorway goes away, that's trippy.
You're trapped in there forever. So Gotenks plays up the oh no, I'm running out of power. I can't find within myself to do it.
So Piccolo, stoically, he blows up the door, and then Boo and Gotenks say, "What did you do?"
And then when Piccolo realizes that he blew up the door because they were pretending, he's not happy at all.
No, he is not. You idiot! He's just so pissed off.
I mean, I'd be too.
Yes. So,
Like one of the most, it's one of the biggest, most justifiable angers I've ever seen Piccolo do.
so then another one of one of the
I,
coolest
I,
moments. So,
I severely screwed up the English language with that one,
yeah,
but you know what I mean anyway.
I know what you mean. Anyway, so I love this in which this whole bit here where so Piccolo again, his strategy is flawless here in terms of okay, well, I've sealed off the entrance, and basically we can either stay in here forever, or we're going to starve to death, or we're just going to basically eventually you'll kill us, and if you do kill us, we can be wished back with Dragon Balls. So flaw again. So Piccolo did have a really good plan B here, which I want to give him all the credit in the world for. And then we have one of the coolest things ever, in which Super Boo freaks out in realizing no candy, no sweets, and he freaks out at the realization he's going to be trapped in there forever with no candy, and he screams so loud he tears a hole between time and space.
Which allows him to escape from the hyperbolic time chamber.
Which I mean, my jaw dropped when I saw that. Like, oh my god! And then he shows up, and he eats everyone.
Like he first attacks, like, because Krillin tries to make
Krillin very heroically tried to save his family and tried to save her. Which again, kudos that Krillin did die very heroically in that moment.
and it didn't buy anybody much time because the next he got Android 13, Android 18.
He's got he ate everyone, Jacob.
Yeah, but especially like Android 18, Marin, Master Roshi, everyone.
Yeah. So
basically everyone's gone. They're all dead, Jim.
yeah.
Or they're dead, Jim.
Yeah.
However that goes.
Anyway.
Go on.
I
thought you'd like my Star Trek reference.
Well, I mean, that's more of like I'm a Dr. Jim. I'm not a, you know.
Well, he does say that though. Like, they're dead.
Yeah, just not the go-to, the Jim line.
Yeah.
I appreciate what you're going for there, though.
Thank you.
All right, so Gotenks, the big hat trick that he had, because they're trying to both scream like a hole between space and time, like Boo did, but it's not working unless Gotenks pulls out his trick, which is turning into Super Saiyan 3 like Goku did. Which is impressive, and it's pretty fun, and Thankfully, they escape. They scream and there's a hole and they escape, but they're upset to learn Boo ate everyone, which then leads us to round three, which is a really exciting round.
And it results in the end in the complete destruction of the lookout.
Well, half the lookout is gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's still, I love Piccolo's reaction. Again, this is the Kami and Piccolo coming out, I'm sure. Like, half the lookout's gone. You destroyed half the lookout. Oh, right. Oops.
And and then and then Boo manages then goes on to destroy the rest of it by
Pretty
turning it
much.
by basically cannonballing through the whole thing.
Yep. It's again, so this is what I'm talking about. This is the end game of it all, man. We're destroying like we destroyed, the upstate New York location.
I
So,
mean, that's how you know things have gotten real.
yeah, so we have the volleyball move, which, he needs Piccolo's help to serve the volleyball, and Piccolo's reluctantly is playing with him.
Yep.
So everything's going pretty good until they defuse, which is a bad thing.
Yep. After they get to the crater, which unfortunately gives Boo an idea, which we don't know until later.
Yeah. So they defuse, and this is great comedy here, where the boys are like their strategy. It's like, okay, what if we apologize?
Yeah. Good luck with that.
So thankfully, after all that, after all the stall time, Gohan, he has completed his training, and a nice little homage to his father. He's wearing his father's outfit.
And for a while, he holds himself, he holds his own with Evil Boo.
So
Or
we have So this is Mystic Gohan. That's what they call this form. So Gohan, basically, it's kind of like it's kind of a throwback to the Kaioken, but it's kind of emphasis on the Kai in this case, I guess. But yeah, so it's the idea that Gohan. I remember as a kid, this always frustrated me because I said, "Why isn't he Super Saiyan?" But then you have to realize the subtlety because it looks like he hasn't powered up at all. But you realize, like, okay, so this is kind of like going beyond that without him just going Super Saiyan 3. So he's basically it's Gohan's version of Super Saiyan 3. Mystic. So basically, it's like Gohan seemingly he's ascended Super Saiyan 2 in kind of this new mystical like power unleashed form, and Gohan shows up kind of like Goku does in the Saiyan saga, which I loved in the full circle nature. He's wearing Goku's outfit. They're all desperate. They all again a formerly dead character as far as they were concerned, much like Goku in the Saiyan saga.
It's like poetry, it rhymes.
Yes. So he arrives, and Gohan, he's upset. He learns, that ate everyone. He is upset. He says, with a smile, like a confident smile, he walks up to him like a boss, like Goku did to Nappa. And Gohan says, "I want to kill you."
Oop.
Yeah, I think he says, "I want to kill you."
I think you're right.
So yeah, it's just awesome. It's this he effortlessly beats Super Boo into a pulp, and it is beyond cool.
And for a while, it's like, oh, maybe he can actually do this.
Yeah. So Pope. Meanwhile, we realize Mr. Popo at the last second he saved Dende. Dende's with Dende alive. We have the Dragon Balls, so we can actually. So things are looking great right now. We have lucked out tremendously. We find Hercule and B the dog. We bring him on the team. Piccolo's very, has a lot of respect for Hercule. So it's like he's not all bad. We're gonna take him along with us. All is going well.
Apparently, Justin Cook also voices adult Dende.
I know. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Justin Cook, man. I always loved how I really like old. Nothing against younger Dende. I love older Dende because he's just kind of like a regular guy who's just trying to run the lookout and he's just kind of like along for the ride.
Yeah, he's pretty chill.
And he's just paired with Hercule, which is just funny.
He's pretty chill.
Yeah. So anyway, so Boo has formulated a plan to absorb Gotenks and Piccolo. Now, let me ask you this, okay? How much of this do you think is bluster, and how much of this do you think was like an actual calculated plan? So, I'm not saying the plan, yes, was to absorb Gotenks and Piccolo to go up against Gohan. That I think is real, but it's truthful. What I wonder is when Boo says he sensed Gohan training with the Kais, and he was waiting for him to show up. Do you think that's just like the ego on him, or do you think he actually, I mean, do you think it's the ego on him, or is he telling the truth? Like he really this whole time he thought Gohan was the fighter he was waiting for.
I have no idea.
Really, not even a
I,
nothing.
I like that. I'm kind of with you that that it probably is a bit of an ego, but he's also probably bluffing. I don't really
Oh
know.
no, the ego is bluffing. I'm saying how much of it is like like kind of like an ego, like kind of he's losing the fight, so he's trying to come up with the reason of like I I knew you were showing up, and I've been toying with you this whole time, and that's why I desperately absorbed these two, like trying to justify his desperate move.
And then I'm like I said, I kind of agree with you.
Yeah.
Like I said I don't think he really knew, or like I think he probably knew that he was referring to the fusion, but he probably also sensed that that Gohan was more powerful.
I mean, the only reason, honestly, Jacob, the main reason I bring it up is given what we learn about Boo's backstory and that he is kind of part Kai. That makes me wonder if maybe he could have sensed what's going on with the Kais. Maybe. Anyway, so point being, Boo has absorbed both Gotenks and Piccolo, which leads to really, again, I love the Super Boo designs beyond this point. It's like Boo tanks and the Pickaboo or whatever you want to,
Peekaboo.
But Boo tanks, I think, is one of the actually what they call like when he absorbs Gotenks. But I love how we gave him, first of all, I prefer him with the nose, and then we extended like the little the tentacle to the tentacle antenna thing to go like down like almost like Super Saiyan 3 hair, which I want to say is his nod to Super Saiyan 3 after what he saw. Could be wrong, but anyway, he looks great. I love that we have the power of Gotenks, and we also have the like he's using Piccolo's taunts. He's like taunting him like Piccolo would.
And he's using the new wisdom and intelligence from them too.
That's the thing. He's using like the wisdom of Piccolo and the history that he has with Piccolo against him, which is a really underhand attack. And so it just feels like Boo is just desperate here to win this fight. He's using all the advantages he just kind of cheated with during this fight. So now it's a far more even fight, and Gohan's not. There's a risk of Gohan losing here. He's actually a little on the back foot here. So this prompts.
It's getting to the point where even the heavens are getting desperate.
Yeah, the ghost attack is the one that's really doing him in. So Gotank's ghost attack is really doing a number on Gohan.
Hello, Jonesy. Gohan fumbles the bag big time, according to him.
Well, yeah, during the fusion, but yeah.
Yeah. So even the heavens are getting desperate. And we've got to talk about Baba.
Well, we'll get there. We're almost there.
Yeah.
First off, we got to talk about old Kai decides to give his life to Goku. Literally, he's just like, okay, look, you can have my life. So basically, old Kai. I love how we play as like this seemingly really like stoic, like kind of like really sad moment where like the old Kai like kind of like falls down for a second.
Like, well, then he bounces back up with the hail. Like, what are you waiting for?
Yeah, which is it's just hilarious that like he's fine. It's just basically it's like we have King Kai who's also dead and he's just very casual about it. So obviously the older Kai would also be very casual about it.
Like to them being dead is just a minor inconvenience.
Yeah, so Goku no longer has a Halo, which for the continuity purist out there is like, hey, no more Halo. We're back to normal.
Yep, and to this day, King Kai is still dead.
Which is still very funny.
Yep, and by that logic, probably so is Supreme Kai or Old Kai.
Yeah,
He's still dead too.
that's right.
Man, they really need to revive the Kais, even though I don't think it really makes much of a difference to them.
No. All right, so point being, old Kai gives his life to Goku so he can go back and finish the battle, but also
Yema is also desperate.
well, not The earring, Jacob. He gives him the earring.
Yeah, all right, all right.
He gives him the Patara earrings. The Patara earrings uh, cause a permanent fusion, which we learn is what turned old Kai into the old guy that he was. And usually Kais don't age. He ages because he fused with an old witch.
Like again, like he didn't want it to happen, but then she put the earring on. It's like you should wear something more fetching. And then she puts it on, and they fuse together.
Yep,
So that's why he's now a pervy old man.
exactly.
Because he fused with a pervy old witch.
Pretty much, more or less.
Yep.
Now, to be fair, he might have been pervy before that. We don't quite know. He turned into an old man because of that. That's the thing. He really got the old and the magic. So he got powerful too with the magic.
She was kind of thirsting after him. It looked like.
Yeah, I guess so. I think more in the manga probably, but yeah.
And so Goku is tasked to find someone suitable to fuse with.
Now we also had a demonstration with the permanent fusion. It was a great gag where Kibito and Shin, Supreme Kai, they fused together to become Kibito Kai,
and then they learn it's permanent.
Then they learn, which is just great. Like, oh, well, that's why you should ask these follow up questions before you attempt a fusion like this.
Yep.
Anyway, yeah. So, Goku is sent back and now has a tool they can use to fuse with. Basically, the plan is to fuse with Gohan, so they have a chance. So, meanwhile, on the flip side, King Emma has gotten desperate, and he's given via fortune teller Baba, he's given Vegeta a day pass to help out.
Yep. And that's how bad. Like, where's all your desperation brought you? Back to me. Yep. I'm surprised he didn't pick that up.
Yeah.
Back to me.
Yeah.
So yep, that's basically Toriyama's way of saying, like, well, did you think Vegeta's gonna be gone forever? Right?
Well, we got to bring him back for let's say we start with Saiyan Saga, we start with Vegeta, we got to end with Vegeta.
Pretty much.
So, Tien. So Tien shows up to lend an assist, which is really like a distraction, like you did with Cell for a moment. And the Tien again, Goku can't stand to see Tien Shinhan killed, so he shows up at the last second. He arrives. He cuts Buu in half when he shows up, which already is pretty cool.
Yeah, even though it doesn't really.
He just needs the stall. He doesn't need to kill him. He just needs the stall.
Yep.
It's a power move. So then we have the big Gohan moment. So Goku, Gohan, quick, catch and put this on. I love that Goku's concerned. Oh man, I hope Chi-Chi doesn't make me go to school.
And then he doesn't catch it.
No, and this is the birth of Gohan needing glasses in the future stories.
Says he basically, as Jonesy said, there's the fumble in the bag moment.
Yeah.
Because he tries to catch it and then drops it.
He pulls a Fredo.
Yeah.
Yep. But yes, but also I just love the idea though of Goku worried. Oh man, Chi-Chi's going to be so. He doesn't know that she's been turned into an egg at this point. I don't think. I mean, he's been able to watch. I forget at what point we gave him the crystal ball to watch, but the point being, I just love that Goku is just worried about oh man, what's the new status quo going to be like? I fused together with my son. I mean, what does that mean for? Do I have to go to high school now?
Priorities, right?
What does that mean for the marriage? This is a lot of bizarre questions.
Yes. Who knows how well that would have turned out?
Yep, it's a fun thought.
Is it?
So it's a funny thought. Just the idea of the heist, the weird fusion. It's almost like an extremely goofy movie, but for our Toriyama characters.
Yep.
All
right. But then Buu absorbs Gohan.
Which is the worst thing that could happen right now. It's like that the most powerful guy we have going up against him has now been absorbed, along with Gotenks and Piccolo. He's unstoppable. We're doomed.
Dogs and cats living together, mass hysteria.
What the heck is Goku gonna do in terms of his fusion options? Tien's out cold, so he can't. Tien would have been the prime option.
He probably wouldn't have done much,
It wouldn't. It would have been better than the other two.
yep. Then there's
Dende, the non-violent short Namekian guy.
and who they need the Dragon Balls for,
Yep. And then Hercule.
Mr. Satan.
So Mr. Satan is. I just love that Goku was like, Hercule, quick! He's about to toss it. And we had also like the little thought balloon, like what the fusion would have looked like. Egg.
Yeah, if anything, fusing with Mr. Satan probably would have made him weaker.
Again, this takes me back to there were in some of the Tenkaichi Budokai games, they played with some fusions, and they played with like the what if thing, where like Cell had the nightmare where he absorbed Krillin instead of 18, and basically had like kind of a Cell Krillin fusion,
Oh God.
or like a Cell Krillin form. And then on the flip side, there was another game. I forget if it was in two or not, but you had a thing where what if Yamcha and Tien fused.
What happens there?
Well, I'm saying you see what it looks like, but it's kind of like a really weird looking design. It's kind of Yamcha with three eyes, and kind of like a weird kind of halo hair thing going on.
That is kind of weird.
Yeah.
People have been, so yeah, which is so go as you were saying.
Well, yeah. So right before that happens, senses Vegeta. Vegeta shows up. Instant transmissions to Vegeta, and the two of them reunite. But Vegeta is he's upset. He's upset mainly over finding out about Super Saiyan 3 and the revelation of that. He hearing that he held back.
Basically, knowing that he could have defeated. It basically Goku did hold back during their fight, and that he could have become a Super Saiyan 3 at any time.
Yeah, so Vegeta is very insulted by this. The last thing he wants to do is do fusion with Goku, or any form of fusion with Goku. And then he tells him, Trunks and what happened to Trunks and Bulma. Vegeta, he's gets incensed, but he reluctantly agrees, and he agrees to fuse. And at the last possible second, after he gives him the earrings, put on which is, oh yeah, Vegeta, one more thing, it's permanent. What? It's permanent? Like this is like I didn't think you would do it.
Which is good logic, I guess.
Yep.
It's a desperation move.
It is, but still, Vegeta doesn't have a choice. He has to. It's like the ultimate punishment. It's like a just punishment for Vegeta. He's got to be stuck with Goku for the rest of his life.
And then we meet Vegito.
Yeah, Vegito has always been really cool. I love me some Vegito. It was a really cool action figure, and just still, it's the concept of fusing Goku and Vegeta, the two most popular characters of the show, and just like seeing them combined. And it is interesting though. So there is Vegito and there is Gogeta.
Because Vegito is the fusion with the earrings, and Gogeta is when they do the fusion dance.
That is correct, and both are a little. I mean, there are differences. It's not just like Vegito by a different name. I think that's the important distinction. The way in my head canon, the way I see it, I still feel about it after the rewatch. Vegito, which I think is the fan favorite, but I think people like Vegito more because he was in the show. Gogeta didn't really quite make the show cut. He's in like the movies and something else, but
until he was canonized in Super Broly.
Yes, true. So until that time, for the longest time, Vegeta was like the only legit one, probably because he was like in the main show. And I always view Vegito as it's Goku with Vegeta's ego.
Yeah, he has like the nobility of Goku, but the ego and showmanship of Vegeta.
Well, honestly, it's more of like I think he looks a lot like Goku, but it's like just utterly like kind of the personality of Vegeta. He's a show off. He's cocky. He is like he's I think there's a lot of yeah. You're right. It's Vegeta with like more nobility, kind of.
Yes.
Yeah. So we have some great moves here. Like when he turns Super Saiyan, things really get good. Where like he's like tossing like. Buu has this giant death ball that will destroy the planet, and Vegito just tosses it back.
Oh yeah,
with ease, and he's like, "I'm not even going to move from this spot."
Yeah, basically, there's a lot of points where Vegito could have easily defeated Boo, but it's that same pride keeping him alive again.
We should also talk about the voice technique on our fusions.
It's the two characters, the two voice actors talking at the same time.
Yeah, which sometimes sometimes people cast like a different voice altogether, and sometimes in this case, you have them both simultaneously talking, which was always a unique thing Dragon Ball had. I felt with that.
It is pretty neat. Yeah, they had like Vegito obviously being Chris Sabat and Sean Schemmel talking at the same time.
Yeah. Anyway, so let's see. So with our cool moves, he's just tossing the big ball of death back at him. And of course, you got to remember too with Super Saiyan Vegito, twice the strength of Super Saiyan Goku and Vegeta, which is even better.
And this, and as mentioned before, this is permanent.
Yeah,
No 30-minute time limit to worry about here.
yeah. So it's a cool fight. It's just a lot of really great kind of combined moves and just new moves that we've never seen before. And the outfit looks good. Everything's working with Vegito, man. They have this sword attack, which I love. And by the way, in the game, you can play as Vegito, and you do a lot of these moves.
Nice.
Like the sword attack was like really great, where basically he's like pinning Boo effortlessly to a sword, just toying with him with again the Vegeta cockiness. Just a very memorable fight. And then when Boo's starting to fight back, you think at every turn like, oh god, Boo is taking advantage of Vegito's cockiness, but then Vegito turns it right back on him. So Boo does the inflation move he did on that Smitty guy.
He eats Vegito.
Well, no, Vegito. Remember he didn't remember he turned he got it super inflated and he was Vegito. It was really trippy and gross looking. Vegito like pumps up and he's all extra muscular and stuff. And then Vegito does is like he can concentrate where Boo is and he can basically punch him.
Oh yeah. Then like he's basically like almost like flexing.
Yeah,
And,
he's like you punching himself and everything, but exactly where Boo is.
which is freaky.
Yeah.
But
That's what I'm saying. This is us freaky and keeping you guessing at every turn. So we do that, and then Boo is using.
don't you wish you could do that if like you ever had a parasite and if you had a parasite inside you could just like punch it out.
Well, yeah, but I also prefer not to have a parasite. So I mean, but yes, you're right. That'd be the way to do it.
Like just punch out the parasite.
Yeah. So then Boo uses the ghost, basically a kamikaze ghost that can do the Kamehameha wave, which is super menacing. That's bad. It's like, oh my god, that was
That was a yeah, that was kind of like an oh crap, definitely an oh crap moment.
exactly. And then we have so Boo. See again, it's a great hat trick of like you're thinking our guys are on the back foot. It's a pretty even fight, but Boo is as powered as he's gonna get right now. At least we think. Because you got Gohan, Gotenks, Piccolo, and then just Boo himself, Majin Buu as well. There's a lot of powerhouses in there, and he's doing the Ghost Kamehameha wave, and then using the Majin Buu move, turns Vegito into a coffee candy, the worst candy that he could be turned into out of spite.
And he's thinking about licking them to death. Or
Yep.
licking and sucking them to death.
Well, maybe we should say licking to death, but yes.
All right, licking to death.
Yeah. The point being, he could eat them very easily. It would seem if he eats them, then they're dead. But this awesome bit where the candy is so powered, it's sentient and can talk, and is still winning. It's still kicking it's kicking the crap out of Super Boo, and like firing like a cannon like through his body and through his head, like detaching the tentacle, and all part of a strategy too. So Boo regenerates and turns him back into human, and basically he Trojan horses himself, and you'd think, and like old Kai is like doing the play-by-play, thinking, "Oh, those idiots!" And like they've been showboating, but no, they're not showboating. They're trying to free everyone who's been absorbed. So they Trojan horse themselves into his body by letting themselves get absorbed by the errant piece of Boo that got separated during the candy battle.
Basically, he pulled a Fantastic Voyage.
Yeah, so this is where I get super nostalgic here, okay?
Yeah.
I had the playset of this when I was a kid.
of Inside Majin Buu.
Yes, it was like you know the old Star Wars toy sets where you had like the like Darth Vader or C-3PO and you had like all like the Kenner figures in them.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like that, where you had Majin Buu. He's pretty much like from the like he's like the elbows and fists kind of pose, like where like the bottom of the torso is to the top of the head. And you open them up, and inside you have like a tiny Goku, tiny Vegeta, and you have some slime and the worms and everything. It's like inside the
And it's just sick and wrong.
yeah. Maybe the pods too with everyone in, 'em, possibly. I don't know.
And it's sick and wrong.
It was, but again, it was inventive. I'm gonna tell. They don't make them like that anymore, Jacob. I'm gonna tell you that much.
And for a reason.
Yeah.
Like,
Anyway, so
nothing says fun Dragon Ball adventures like Vor.
of course today I would never go for it. I would never go for it because of my body phobia. But as a kid, though, because it was Majin Buu, and it was like it was from the show. It's okay.
Because nothing says fun Dragon Ball adventure like Vor.
Well, I guess if you want to look at it that way.
I mean, am I wrong, Dragon?
I mean, I think Boar is kind of a
I know.
slightly different thing, but yeah.
Well, it's pretty close.
No, you're right. It's close. I'm just saying.
I know it's not. I know it's not a 1-to-1, but it's pretty close.
Anyway, so we're inside Boo, and they end up defusing, and Vegeta he destroys the earring for pride. Like he will not. He refuses the fuse with Kakarot again.
Somehow the going inside defuses them.
Admittedly, a story convenience, yes.
Like, he's like, oh, it's permanent. You can never turn back. And then, once they're inside Boo, they turn back.
Now, admittedly, when they got the Dragon Ball Super, they kind of found a way to justify that, but I don't like it. I prefer just like I honestly I prefer the original idea. Yeah, so Super did retcon it, so there's a reason for why they defuse inside of Boo, and I just like the idea that it was permanent. It was a permanent fusion. They just lucked out. Personally, it's what I like. But
all right, I guess we'll find out the reason for that Boo that Super gave later on.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Anyway, so we have a inside of Boo. We have a lot of great Vegeta and Goku comedy shenanigans happening. And it's the dynamic. And it's the Sean Schimmel and Chris Sabat's chemistry as Vegeta and Goku. It's been a while. Think about this, Jake. It has been a really long time since they've just been paired together in like a casual or like kind of a more kind of buddy cop kind of setting. They fought each other for sure, but they really been doing a thing. The most we've had was like the interstitials between the Majin warrior fights.
Yeah.
That's the most we've really had, and this is just really funny. Like the two of them, just like Kakarot, which way do you think we should go? I think that way. I'm gonna
go this way.
It's like, oh come on, Vegeta, that hurts my feelings.
And then basically, like, look, I'm steaming. You're being digested, you idiot.
That's what I'm saying. It's just comedy gold on the inside of, and they do like the fight, the inner booth. Okay, so admittedly, there's a lot of filler. Well, inside of what fills Majin Buu, there's some filler in there.
Do you do all this in Kakarot?
No.
You don't go inside Buu and Kakarot?
Well, yeah, remember, Kakarot primarily is Dragon Ball Z Kai, so a lot of the filler didn't make the cut. There's still some, the driving episode made it. And there are some side quests that are like a little bit of the filler, but not like for all the mercenary Tao showing up, it's filler.
All right.
At least, I mean, kind of, but anyway.
Like so, because there are some fighting games where you fight inside where the stage is Majin Buu, inside of Majin Buu.
Well, sadly not in Kakarot. They don't do it there.
The trippy thing is you can fight as Majin Buu, like as Evil Buu, within Evil Buu.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird. It's just really weird when you think about it.
Yeah. But so here's the thing. So within the inside Buu, so I like the inside Buu stuff. I mean, I love the the Goku and Vegeta kind of dynamic, and they do like the Kame, like the group blast, and they're like cheek to cheek, which is funny.
And they're trying every which way possible to avoid going out the back end.
Yeah, which is just really funny.
Uh,
Um,
and gross.
and Goku like commenting and all the candy and cake and everything. You're one to talk, Kakarot. Well, yeah, I guess you have a point.
Well, Goku mostly eats meat, though.
Well, no, I mean the whole like the amount of food that he eats and that part of it.
And well, Goku also doesn't eat like half of humanity in a single day.
Well, unless he got really hungry. If there was no more food in the world, it is unclear.
Thank God for Chi Chi then.
Yeah. Now, to be fair, look, you're right. Thank God for Chi Chi. In hindsight, Goku, if you remember, everyone kind of forgets this. Beginning of Dragon Ball, before regularly had access to food, he was eating like foxes, animals, and like lizards and bugs.
Yep, and giant fish.
Yes, I mean, yeah, he's covered.
Yep. So and
Anyway,
and maybe the occasional dinosaur for all we know.
true. So within the shenanigans we have like the I love the tapeworm dad comedy. We have like these giant tapeworms inside of Boo,
It's,
and
he heard Stinky, or whatever the names were.
yeah, and we have this gag where they blast one of the worms, and then the father shows up like, Daddy, he hurt us, and then the father shows up and apologizes for like for
I,
them like,
I apologize for my sons.
and like Goku's like, hey, I understand, we're all fathers here. And I love Vegeta just being, again, he's a prince, but he's also maybe just a little prissy about certain things. He's like, oh, Kakarot, I'm going to throw up.
Yeah, I mean, basically, he befriended Boo's parasites.
That's the thing, like, just, Vegeta's like, you're talking to a worm, Kakarot. What are you doing?
I love Chris Sabat's performance here.
Yeah.
Basically, he's doing very good job voicing Vegeta's disgust.
So honestly, look, I like all the inside boost stuff. The one thing that was too much filler for me, the thought fight, where basically the thought, like we're in Boo's brain, and we have like the memories of like Gohan, Piccolo, Trunks and Goten or Gotenks, and
Is that filler?
yeah, that's absolutely filler. Yeah,
All right.
I mean to me that's what's worse about it. It's unnecessary filler. It's just like extra bits that we don't need when like it should be pretty simple. They went in there for a reason. Yes, we have a comedic shenanigan with the worm, but it should be they go in there. They're about to be they're risking digestion in the back entrance. We got the worm, got some bickering, and then we find the pods. That's what it should be.
And we get more than.
The brain was too much.
And then they exit through the steam vents.
Yeah, we had the outhouse gag, which was really funny too. Like all the trouble they were stirring up down there. It's like he's running to he conjures an outhouse.
Because they're causing all kinds of intense intestinal distress.
Yeah,
I mean, don't you wish you could just conjure an outhouse when you really had to go and there was no bathroom around?
yeah, don't we all?
Or preferably an actual working toilet, but
Well, yeah,
you got to do what you got to do.
true. Just Hercule and Dende's reaction to it, though.
And they're just watching it like, and I love how Boo doesn't really question it too much. He just thinks they're being stubborn to digest.
Yeah. So they find the pods. They basically sever them, and which kind of deactivates, like kind of like disconnects the fusion, like well the absorption, I should say. So he's like he loses the Gohan's gi, he loses like the Go tanks defuse. So it's
He also loses Fat Boo.
well, not eventually, yes, but they sever Boo. They don't take Boo out of the body yet. That's important. But
it turns out maybe it wasn't the best idea.
No, it wasn't. So they sever Boo, which is a big deal, and then they liberate all the pods with all their loved ones, including Piccolo and everything. And And then we should mention this too real quick. We cut to the afterlife. I want to mention what the afterlife's like because the first time we had, and this is purely for the anime. This is a fillery kind of thing, but I always liked it. And this is the thing I was hinting at too. We see Dabura again. We see what happened to Dabura.
And he's just palling it up with Chi Chi, Videl, and Bulma.
So we see basically like they keep their bodies, but they have like ghostly tails, and they're in kind of a heaven sort of thing, and they're all basically Dabura's. Instead of sending Dabura to hell, which he would love, because essentially he's the Lord of Hell, he's the Lord of the Demon Realm.
They send him to heaven.
Like King Yama cleverly sent him to heaven, and just to torture him and kind of rehabilitate him, and the fact that he's like the gal pal with everyone, like he's rooting for Gohan and Fidel's romance, which is hilarious.
He's like, I'm so happy for them.
And the women are weirded out by him, but they kind of like he's friendly, but he's just kind of like unsettling,
He's basically one of the girls.
which is just really funny.
You have the kid, like the ruler of the demon realm is now one of the girls.
Yep. Also on the flip side, in the not the land of the Kais, but where Grand Kai's place, King Kai is preparing Krillin and Yamcha as the new Plan B, which Yamcha is actually fighting again. He's actually doing stuff.
Yep, and all for naught.
Well, yeah. Like, come
And
on, what kind of help could Yamcha have been anyway? I mean,
And basically, that's basically what Krillin's saying this entire time. Like, if Goku and Vegeta can't do anything, what hope do we have?
yeah. Krillin sells himself short, but yeah, he's right. It's sad. We love Krillin, but Krillin has been by self. And here's the thing: Krillin admits it. Yamcha, he admits it, but more pathetically. Let's be honest.
Krillin is still like the strongest human, like pure human there is.
Yeah, Yamcha, exactly. Which I mean, the real question is Krillin versus Tien. That's a fight I would love to see. That's an even fight there.
Yep, like it probably is pretty tied between Tien and Krillin.
Yeah. Now, Yamcha is a whole thing of like Yamcha retired from fighting, so he's really out of practice.
Yeah, but he's getting his fair share in the afterlife.
That is true. Only in death would he find something to pass the time by like that.
Well, like maybe he should have stayed dead. I'm glad he didn't though.
Yeah. So we get the backstory of Majin Buu. So we learn. So we see Bibbidi, the father of Bobbidi,
Bibbidi bobbidi boo.
created Buu to kill the Kais. Like the North South. Basically all the Kais from way back, and absorbed in the end. They created this creature, created Buu, and Buu ended up absorbing two of the Kais. Absorbed South Kai, who was this big, beefy, big muscular Kai, and Dao Kai. Now, Dao Kai or Dai Kai, D-A-I. Sorry, Daikaio. I meant Daikaio. Yes, Daikaio is this fat, kindly Kai, which is
And
so that was the last one he absorbed to
which
offset the giant muscular one.
and that absorbing him turns him into Fat Boo.
Now, the important distinction is the form before that absorption was Kid Buu.
Yep.
So Kid Buu was the original pure evil form that then absorbed these other Kais, and the Daikaio was like the kind innocent one who basically tempered Buu's impulses. Still powerful, and it's powered, but he's got the power of two Kais and whatever ancient evil he already was, which is pretty significant. And with that removed, with that severed, he's basically going back to his base form, which you would imagine would make him weaker, but in reality makes him just untempered. Kind of like Frieza, ultimately. Kind of like how Frieza worked, where Frieza, the shortest form of Frieza, ultimately was most powerful.
Ironically, yeah.
Yeah. So we have Kid Buu, who is basically like this crazy little spider monkey of a character.
And basically any redeeming qualities that any of the previous Boos had, they're all gone now.
short, evil, creepy, and just like laughing and just having a good time, killing and just fighting. It's an untempered, untrained monster.
And like basically not even like a any coherent sentences or thoughts, just pure mindless destruction.
It's kind of like what if Stitch never landed on Hawaii?
Yeah, I can actually see to that.
A little bit because there is a bit of fun. There's a fun-loving aspect to him with the destruction. So there's a little bit of like ha ha, or like a little. If he could speak, he might say "Mina Nana Krista," but you know,
And he'd probably take a red police cruiser.
yeah.
Yeah.
So Kid Boo's first instinct. What does he do?
He what does he do?
Blows up the Earth.
And many other planets.
Yes, I mean he blows up the Earth initially, which again I love again this is what I'm talking about when you're watching this for the first time way back. It's like oh my god, he blew up the Earth.
It's the sheer escalation of it.
Yeah, and Vegeta is justifiably upset with Goku, where basically he instant transmissioned along with Kibito Kai showed up because he can teleport as well. At the last second to save who they could, which Vegeta's upset that Goku chose to save Hercule and Dende versus their own family that were just sitting right there.
Yep.
But I mean, Goku kind of had a point. Goku kind of is kicking himself a little too. But Dende with the Dragon Balls was the impetus. But the Earth and Dragon Balls are gone.
He did have a point.
Yep. But again, so Vegeta is very justifiably upset about all this here, and yeah.
But then he also gets angry later when we learn exactly what Goku promised old Kai.
Oh yeah. So we should talk about that.
It's like I kind of promised him he could kiss Bulma. What?
Are you completely insane? Let him kiss your woman.
I love that. Let him kiss your woman.
That's just Vegeta utterly freaking out about the insult of
He's more upset about that than he is anything else.
Yes.
Like he's more upset about like having him kiss Bulma than the fact that he left
And
everyone.
Sean Schimmel cowering as Goku in this movie is just so funny. It's a compliment. Oh god. Anyway, so he's very upset about the deal to. So you wouldn't be talking about Bulma, would you? You are.
Like let him kiss your woman. It's a compliment.
Let him kiss your woman.
What does that say about Chi Chi then? Just like Goku's like saying only he's allowed to kiss Chi Chi.
Well, Chi Chi would be very upset to hear Goku talking about.
Yeah.
Like that. Anyway. So the point being, they have a new plan to save the Dragon Ball.
He even does like, but she's not nearly as pretty as Bulma is. See, it's a compliment.
It's a compliment.
He's also like he's technically insulting his own wife, but
yeah. Well, she's dead right now anyway. So.
And he probably doesn't even really mean it.
Yeah.
He's just trying to convince Vegeta to get it to work.
That's true. However, well, there's a line later on, but yeah.
We'll get to the.
I mean, there's a line later in Super, but we don't have to worry about that.
Yeah, we'll get to that later then.
All right. So the point being, it's very memorable. But so thanks to the Namekian Dragon Balls, and this is always a nice payoff too, with it being kind of the end game kind of thing with Dragon Ball Z. Is that to pay off to all the goodwill that Goku, Gohan, and everyone have had with the Namekians since the Frieza saga, where they're on board for like, yeah, we're gonna. They did a little fake out with Dende. Oh, Dende, you're abusing your power of the dress. Nah, it's cool. Just of course we'll help you.
Yeah, which is nice. They didn't drag that out too long.
Yeah, it was just an instant. Like, of course, Dende, you know it's better than that. Of course, you can use the Dragon Balls. We have them gathered here for you right now.
It is nice. It was nice to see the Namekians cut just one last time to help everyone.
Yeah. So Goku and Vegeta, they draw Kid Buu, who's basically going around destroying planets and everything, just looking for him. They draw him to the land of the Kais.
And they play rock paper scissors to fight him.
Yep, to find out who's going to fight him. And so we have the Super Saiyan. We have Super Saiyan 3 Goku versus Kid Buu. It's a pretty awesome fight. Everyone's watching, like Babidi and the foes watch from hell, and like the foes are like rooting for Buu. Babidi is like, yeah, I hope Goku wins because that guy killed me.
It's he seems to be joining along with everyone. It's like, yeah, like it's like I could turn you into a warrior, but then he hopes that Boo wins, but then he's secretly like come on, Goku, come on, Goku, get him.
Yeah.
Like he wants, like, yeah, that's what he thinks of his protege now, or his charge or
Well,
warder.
after he killed him, yeah.
Yeah, so it is pretty funny now. It's pretty funny now getting your head blown off by your. What would you even? What would you?
Creation.
Well, he didn't. Well, he didn't create Bobby.
All right, fine. By your henchman, by your I guess your progeny, by I don't know, by your lackey.
Henchman lackey. Yeah, like getting your head blasted off by your lackey. It would kind of make you a bit mad, kind of a bit salty.
Yeah.
But as you were saying,
Anyway, so we have a really great moment here. So Goku earns Vegeta's respect during this fight. Vegeta's on the sidelines, and we have the epic monologue that Vegeta has while we have this epic battle going on. Where Vegeta ultimately admits that he sees why Goku was always the better fighter. And I mean, how did you feel about it? This is like one of Sabat's big monologues.
say the specific ones again.
Well, Vegeta, basically Vegeta admits like he's reflecting on the series as a whole and how he thinks back to when they first fought and how he undervalued him and now he sees like he fights for people. Well, not that he doesn't just fight for people. He fights for like the self improvement, the betterments. He has the warrior spirit after all. That I always just thought him as a clown, an idiot, and like an inferior. But he represented the best of the Saiyan culture, which really earned his respect.
I do agree that is probably one of Chris Sabat's best performances. He really sold Vegeta there on that. So
yeah, that was a beautiful little thing that he had. Beautiful montage, and Goku kind of needs a breather, and Vegeta even admits in the fight that no, I know we said we're going to take turns, but I think I should finish this one. Yeah, that's fine, Kakarot. What do you need from me? Basically, he needs like a minute to kind of regain his strength, and so Vegeta stalls, which no one gets outclassed. I mean, Vegeta is like doing everything he can. He's taking quite a beating too.
yeah, and then it takes more than a minute. Like it takes
Yeah,
a lot.
Goku's not regaining his strength in the minute. It's just because the idea is like Super Saiyan 3 is just draining power before it's like gaining power.
But Vegeta actually comes up with a good idea. Yeah, he comes up with a plan.
Yes, he does. But first, we should mention that what buys him some time while all this happens for them to formulate that plan. Hercule, idiotically, he thinks this is all a dream.
Yeah,
And he basically challenges like Kid Buu for a moment there, and he's about to be killed by Kid Buu, and then Kid Buu kind of stops as he expels Majin Buu, and Majin Buu, Fat Buu, aka Majin Buu. He battles Kid Buu, and it's this awesome two Boos for the price of one. They're fighting each other, and this is buying him time because he's
so
saving Hercule. He's saving his friend Mr. Satan.
it is pretty nice to see.
Yeah, so Vegeta he cooks up the ultimate spirit bomb strategy.
His idea is to use the two, like find the Dragon Balls and actually the Namekian Dragon Balls, and use the wishes to revive everyone on Earth. That
Yeah,
was
bring back the Earth.
that was, and then bring back everyone that was killed since the beginning of the tournament,
Yeah, so again, that's Vegeta atoning for the victims that he killed.
and making sure that Babidi doesn't come back to life.
All the good people, he says, all the good people that had died since the tournament.
And then his own halo goes away.
A great moment of growth on Vegeta. He's redeemed himself. He brought people back. He's been fighting Obi. He sacrificed himself. It's all paying off.
And Goku's like, "Hey, look at you! Looks like Judgment Sin. You're a good guy now."
They both found loopholes around the whole second wish rule. The whole
Yep.
you can't wish somebody back from the dead twice.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was really cool to see Vegeta finally come back to life.
Yep.
But it also means he's now more vulnerable than he was before, so it adds more so he now he could potentially die again.
That's true. So so yeah, so then the plan is so again, this is Vegeta kind of feeling the way Goku felt at the start here, about the next generation being able to take care of themselves. In this case, Vegeta says, "Kakarot, I think it's time the Earth saved themselves. The Earthlings saved themselves this time. So the people of Earth, it's up to them via the Spirit Bomb." So Goku, and again, it's Vegeta again, full circle. Vegeta is using the big technique Goku used the first time they fought, but on a massive, even more successful scale, like the most massive Spirit Bomb ever. And this is a great 3-act thing, too. We've done the Spirit Bomb in the show 3 times, and this is the third time, and each time got bigger and progressively better. And this is the biggest and best we ever did it.
And what a way to end it.
Yeah, with this massive Spirit Bomb, and thanks to King Kai, patching Vegeta, first Vegeta through, and Vegeta makes a very impassioned plea to the people of Earth, like, let them know what's going on.
It
Then,
doesn't it doesn't really work.
well, at first it works. At first, everyone's kind of buying into it, and then it's then Vegeta gets really ticked off when he takes another stab at it. And he's just like, "People of Earth, you stupid morons! You're all gonna die." Well, something along those lines.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much his.
Throw up your blasted hands, or you're all gonna die.
That is pretty much what he's saying.
So then it's up to Goku, and Goku has made a lot of friends, and that we see a lot of familiar cameos. We got Bor and Upa, which was great, and they're in the Kakarot game.
It was nice to see them again.
Android 17,
It's like who basically got two hunters to put their hands up by pointing a gun at them.
which is awesome.
Yeah.
You got Tien, of course, good old Tien, and then Suno and Ader,
We haven't seen them in like 300 episodes.
and they made the Kakarot cut. They're in the game.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, very nice too.
Oh.
So point being, we're seeing familiar faces. Goku has a lot of goodwill over the years. So there's a lot of people
But even
raising
then,
their hands. It's still not enough.
and thus,
People are stupid.
yes, people are stupid. But stupid is as stupid does.
So the honor goes to Hercule. Hercule ends up saving the day by chastising and rallying the people to help save because they think Hercule's fighting them.
I was pretending so you didn't know it was me at first.
Yeah. There's not to draw any. I'm not trying to draw any direct parallels, but just in general for how people work. It's always like it's always a figure, like a popular figure of some kind. If they say something, it's like people they'll follow anything like lemmings if it's a collectively well perceived person or person who can just like spin any nonsense in the gold. Like fill in the blanks with anyone you want. I mean, across anything really, but it's like it's the way people work.
Yep.
Yeah.
And thus everybody raises their hands to give Hercule their. And I love how he like when Vegeta looks at it like, "Hey, don't take it personal. I'm just doing it for the sake of the world."
Which is great, Hercule, like he's not doing it for ego this time. He's actually in the know about it. And he's like telling them like, sorry.
He's like it's for the sake of the planet.
Yeah, Goku's cool with it.
Yep. And so everything seems to be going well.
It's also fitting that Hercule gets to see Goku up close, actually doing the hard work.
Yep, it makes the interactions in Super even better.
Yeah. So we have the giant Spirit Bomb, which he then launches, but Kid Buu's kind of fighting against it. It's looking like, oh god, he's gonna toss it back. This might be really bad. But Dende, Vegeta kept saying, I don't care what you use the third wish for. Dende restores Goku's energy with the third wish, which gives all the power he needs to defeat Buu. But he has a little wish of his own, not an official wish, but he has like a little kind of parting words to the Kid Buu.
It is kind of fitting that the last ever wish we see in Dragon Ball, the original run anyway, is Goku getting his energy restored,
Yeah.
and he wishes for Buu to be reborn as a good guy,
Yeah.
and wishes to fight him that way.
Until the rewatch, I forgot if that made the cut as like the official wish or not. So it didn't, but it was interesting that how we ended up making that work.
Yeah, before he dies.
But that's the thing, because Goku loves the challenge here. He loves the challenge and like how this guy's been pushing him, and Goku is all about the love of fighting. And this, again, he wishes it weren't for like life and death stakes of the whole planet, people dying and like in droves for a fight, but the idea of like pushing himself against an opponent of like equal or greater strength, which again, it's the Toriyama kind of issue of like he has to keep reinventing the wheel and coming up with a bigger baddie for the arcs as they go forward. And it's like, how do you challenge Goku if we keep making him stronger per arc? So it's the power scaling issue, and this is kind of how you do it. Like this is the most powerful one he's gone up against, and Goku lives for that challenge.
And for the longest time, it was the strongest thing he fought.
Yeah. So Goku's refreshed. That's like, yeah, this is the biggest obstacle. He loves the bigger obstacle. It's a never ending pursuit for him.
Never ending.
So
Basically, it's basically Master Roshi's ultimate lesson. There's always someone stronger.
yeah. Also, Jonesy D874. He mentions there was it looked like Launch. I mean, I don't know if that was Launch. Do you remember Launch made the cut for raising the hands or not?
I think the wiki lists her as having a cameo in there, and I think that was more of like Toei putting her in.
Yeah.
Like he says, I guess Toriyama didn't forget her after all.
Well, no, Toriyama still forgot her. That was Toei did, but I can't remember if Toei put her in there or not. So you're saying she was there?
Like, well, I said that I've seen like mentions of her making a cameo.
I forgot it. Here's the thing: I didn't list her, but there's a good chance she was there, but I forgot to put her down.
I do miss Launch though.
Yep, we all enjoy Launch.
Yep.
Enjoy a nice hearty lunch.
Well, for her name in the Japanese is just Lunch.
Yeah.
So make of that what you will.
Anyway, so the day is so Boo is every part of Kid Boo is vaporized by the spirit bomb, which again it brings it back to what the spirit bomb is. The spirit bomb destroys pure evil. That's what it's most virulent against. So you only use it against a really bad person. Kid Boo is pure evil. So yeah, gone.
So it works.
All right. Meanwhile, so the day is saved. Kid Buu is gone. We have like the thumbs up moment between Vegeta and Goku, which is really endearing.
It is. It's like they basically cemented their friendship.
Yeah, after everything they've been through, it's like at this point, it's like Vegeta doesn't plan on killing Goku anymore.
Like he plans on being better than him, but not killing him.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, he's tempered what it is. Until his up to the Majin Vegeta thing, it was always like the intent was like after we get through this, we'll fight and I'll most likely kill you. That was kind of what
But it is basically this that cements them as friends and rivals.
Exactly, and as Jonesy says, iconic shot.
Yep.
Yeah.
And thus, the Earth enters another time of peace.
Well, so there's the hanging Chad of Boo is still kind of alive, and Hercule pleads to Vegeta for Boo's life, and he's like, please, let Dende heal him, please, and Goku, he makes a good point that look, Vegeta,
he saved your life.
Both of them did, Boo bought you time, and Hercule got you out of the blast zone, so he was about to launch the spirit bomb, and who knows what would have happened.
And Vegeta reluctantly goes along with it.
And also, full circle moment to the whole Goku sparing Vegeta's life, and ultimately Vegeta sparing Boo's life.
But they do come up with a plan just in case.
Yeah.
Like the plan is to have Boo live on Earth, like live with Mr. Satan alone for 6 months.
Yep.
And then use the other wish from their dragon to bring people back, to erase people's memory of him.
Yes. So they
Like,
don't realize that he's the same Boo.
it's like, oh yeah, I forgot to mention. I love like the offhand, like the how like the Namekians like modified their dragon so it can actually bring more people back to life.
Which is great.
That's like you said. Like I know it was like during one before one of the eye catches, so it was like a commercial break, but on streaming it just happens like 20 seconds after they say that, so it wasn't really that big of a deal.
Hmm.
I'm sure it's probably like also like a chapter break and probably a chapter break in the original manga too.
All right.
So so yeah, there's like yeah, after the whole Frieza thing, we decided it'd probably be a good idea to change the rules a bit.
Yeah. So we have everyone reunited. You know, we have like the everyone's scared when they see Boo for a second, which is really funny.
Yep. But everybody except Boo, including Videl.
Yep.
Seeing Boo and Videl is nice, and we got to see Mr. Satan reunited with his daughter because the entire when he learned that Videl was dead, he was packing heat, ready to kill Boo.
Exactly. That's the yeah.
But when he saw Videl alive again,
Said, oh, again, seeing the loving father that he was.
it's like he's a sure he's a blowhard, he's egotistical. If there's and there's only one person he loves more than himself.
His daughter.
Exactly.
Yeah. So then we in the aftermath too. So in the reunion, Goku is back for good. No Halo, as he tells Chi Chi and everyone. And the peacetime, then we get the peacetimes filler stuff, which I always really liked. So I love Majin Buu when he's reintegrated into things. We have like the ice cream misadventure. I love this ice cream quest for Majin Buu because it feels like classic Dragon Ball. It's very much in the mold of like when Goku went to the city looking for Bulma.
That's exactly what it is. He even gets into a fight and earns like 10,000 zeni.
Yeah, he gets the money and he basically uses it to buy ice cream. And he explains it like the guy's trying to explain to him, like, don't you need change? Like, Boo get ice cream, you get money.
Like, he has no idea. He has no idea of the concept of bartering.
Yeah, so we're also it's a 14 scoop ice cream.
Yep. He's like, keep change.
And you remember that people versus food thing I showed you?
Do they have the 14 cone ice cream?
It's minimal, it's minimized, but yes, it's still 14, but it's like it's small, but yeah.
No, that's pretty neat though.
Yeah, but again, they have all sorts of other Dragon Ball food though, like the dinosaur tail steak, everything.
What they actually use for the dinosaur tail?
Well, I mean, it's a steak of some kind, but it
Like,
looks like it's the size of like the dinosaur tail steak.
what did they use? Like alligator or something? Or did they use like
I don't know. It just there was the whole they mentioned it there. I forget what they said.
All right,
It's a reason for you to watch it.
all right.
Anyway,
Our unofficial sponsor strikes again.
yes. Okay, so also within this, it kind of foils. He's going along with Bulma for like errands, and there's like a jewelry heist, and the Boots freaks out the guy because he gets shot, and just doesn't affect him. And we have the Great Saiyan Man and
Say a girl.
say, oh my god, it's still one of my favorite. I love the whole Great Saiyan Man, Great Saiyan Girl. If I'm a shipper, I love Gohan and Videl, and that was always like the.
I wish we would have seen more of that.
Yeah, we don't get a Nasea girl shows up maybe one or two more times. Honestly, probably one more time, and it is it's a crying shame because it was such a cute. I got a Funko though. I gave my buddy for Christmas last year. I gave him the great for his birthday. Wait, birthday for his birthday last year. I gave him the Great Saiyan Girl Funko because he loved it. So it made Funko, you know.
Now he just needs to get her voice actress to sign it.
Yep. Anyway, so then we have the code. So this, in all intents and purposes, this is like the ending of Dragon Ball Z before we get to the real kind of like kind of coda of it all. But
He
well, I
always
guess not the coda, the epilogue. This is the coda. We then get the epilogue story. So before we get the epilogue story, we have like the bath thing, which is kind of like if you want to put a pun on it, it is the end because we end on Goku's end.
yeah. And then he always runs late.
Yep. So the after we have the after party where Goku, he's protecting some baby birds, some baby dinosaurs from the elements. As Bulma has this fancy barbecue, everyone's dressed up with, which I just want to shout it out. It's so Chi Chi's look in that episode. Everyone's wearing their fancy outfits, and again, Chi Chi, she's dressed to the T's, man. But her hair is she's so unrecognizable with that hair. She looks fantastic, but it looks so un Chi Chi like.
Yep. Even more in Chi Chi like is when she starts dancing.
Yeah, Tai Chi Chi.
Yeah, the Tai Chi Chi.
Yep.
And then she like pulls something and can't move.
Yep. Anyways, then we also have I love the cute little gag where it's like Vegeta and Boo, like Boo wants like Vegeta's hot dog and he just like and he offers it to him. It just gets a cute little bit.
It is.
Piccolo and Tien are at the party, kind of stuff like that.
And and Dende's wondering if he should even be there.
Yeah, we had like a nice little flashback to Grandpa Gohan finding Goku, which was a nice full circle kind of moment as well.
Aw. Which is nice.
So
That was nice. Like the little boy from the woods.
yeah. All right, so then we have our epilogue 10 years later.
Like I was like, well, like before we do that, Goku inviting Vegeta to sit at the table with them.
Yeah.
That was
Also, Jonesy points out it was a sandwich. Yeah, it was a sandwich. It was kind of folded like a hot dog, though. But you're right, it was a sandwich
nice.
because there's like tomato and lettuce in it. No, he's right. It's a sandwich.
Is a hot dog a sandwich?
No,
All right.
no, it's not.
All right.
All right, anyway, so 10 years later, we have the epilogue, and this was like the big thing to get from like you finding that DVD from way back. So yeah, so we see Gohan. He's a scholar. He is married to Videl, and they have a daughter. We introduce Pan,
Aw.
and
She's
this
a
is the best Pan of all the Pans.
Oh yeah.
Well, admittedly, Super has a good Pan as well, but this Superhero has a good Pan, but this is the Pan we get before that Pan. So
And before she becomes a main character in her own right.
yeah, and that some people aren't crazy about that Pan, but still, we have this Pan.
Yep, granddaughter Pan.
Yeah, which is adorable. So Bulma and Vegeta visit Goku, and apparently Goku is always wrapped up in his training, and he does not really check in with his friends all that often. So Goku, everyone loves him, but as like Krillin kind of points out, you can't stay mad at the guy because they all love him to pieces. But it's like Goku just ghosts people constantly,
And Goten is now a young man himself,
and he's going on dates.
which is adorable.
Yeah, so Goku he talks. So Vegeta and Bulma visit, and Goku talks Vegeta and everybody, at least a few people, into entering the World Martial Arts Tournament this year because he has it on good authority that a new mystery fighter is going to be there, who's an Earthling but who is powerful enough to rival Super Saiyan.
Who could it possibly be?
Yeah, so Vegeta's intrigued for sure. So they all enter, and we have this. We have at the tournament. We have my favorite part of the whole thing. So Grandpa Goku and Pan just having a little
Aw.
tournament shenanigans, and it's so adorable. And like
When
they're
even she even does the little test your strength thing that Goku once did.
yes, and she gets like this giant plushie, and they're playing games, and we have like puppets, and like then we have like the hot dogs, which like was Goku's selling point. Oh, the tournament has great hot dogs. Like hot dogs, Kakarot. What do you?
I mean, the guy has his priorities. Like hot dog, sometimes you can't go wrong with a good hot dog, right, Dragon?
Well, yes, I agree.
I made some pretty good hot dogs myself the other day.
Good.
It's like I cooked them on a griddle, melted cheese, and some green onions.
Okay.
It was pretty dang good.
All right.
So
Anyway, so by the way, just in preparation for this, I finally played the not it was a while ago, but just in preparation for this, I finally got to the DLC for the epilogue. So the other tournament, which is this,
oh nice.
and even the walk around stuff, you're hanging out with Pan, and you can buy hot dogs.
That's cute.
Yeah. So, and of course, the adorably, gets ice cream for Pan. The ice cream that I love so much, and then like this kid, this mean kid, he's like shoplifting, and he steals like some Hercule watches,
And he
and
runs into
bumps into her, and she drops her ice cream, and she's very upset. And you're thinking, oh God, Pan's gonna cream this kid, and then she just cries. It's adorable.
she's only like 4 years old, right?
Yeah, yeah, it's yeah, like 4 years old. Maybe I don't know if she's the same age as Gohan, like in the beginning, or maybe like a year younger. But I think she's 3 or 4. I think she's 4.
And she's just the cutest little thing.
Yeah, but just this again looks just like Fidel. It's so darn precious.
And there's and Vegeta and Bulma have a new daughter of their own,
Yep, Bola.
or the original version, Bra.
Yeah, yeah.
Named after it's like, hey, I know we should name her. We should name her after undergarments.
It's a running gag.
Yep.
I'm serious. With the ice cream though thing, she drops her ice cream and she's crying, and Goku offers her ice cream. Here, have Grandpa's ice cream. It's adorable.
Goku's a good grandpa.
Yes, again, he wants to live up to Grandpa Gohan, and it's so endearing. And I love the cyclical nature of he's become Grandpa.
Grandpa, and she calls him Grandpa G.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they all anyway. So Goku reunites with the rest of his friends. Krillin points out like, "Oh, we all missed you, Goku," and it's like, "We can't stay mad at that guy." And also, Piccolo can't work a phone, which still cracks me up. So you could have called like, "I can't work a phone anyway."
Yeah.
So Pan has two grandpas, and we see like Grandpa Hercule and Grandpa Goku. I love that she has two wonderful grandpas.
And they both adore her.
And we have this thing where Hercule still remains the champ because Buu has entered the tournaments, and he lets him win. And he's worried like, you're entering the tournament. Oh no! And then Goku says, hey, don't worry. If any of us win, if any of us get to the finals, we'll let you win. So Hercule's instantly relieved, and then we have this gag about Hercule getting them good seats, which initially he botches, and then we put him in like give him some balcony seats.
Yeah. And Bee's now, and I like the detail of like Bee's now just a very big dog now. Dragon. Hello. Oh boy. We might be having some slight difficulties here, folks. Either that or I am. I don't know. So it was nice to see everybody being reunited. Basically, this one last time. Good to see all these new fighters. Hold on. Oh boy. So. Sorry, Dragon, I can't hear you. So I have to say something. I'm trying to say something to keep the air from the stream from going dead. So overall, I've had pretty. I'll just say some of my things before we move on with the plot. Overall, I've been throughout this entire journey. I've had a lot of fun. This has been quite a journey, I'll say. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say now. I don't know. I was talking about liking B as a big dog. Dragon's now gone. I think he's going to be coming back in a few moments. But I do really like that detail now that I'm saying it out loud. B just grown up. He's just big dog. Jonesy's saying I really like Goten and Trunks as teenagers. Like, yeah, but it was a nice touch to have Trunks basically be this kind of be the same as he was as the future Trunks, but now just 10 years later, the outfits are indeed pretty dang awesome. Not gonna lie. Basically, seeing the world peaceful yet again and for this long period of time, and of course, the only way Mr. Satan could actually be a legitimate victor was to basically fake the matches. Was to basically have Boo throw the matches, which of course is hilarious. And seeing him being concerned about Pan, it's pretty wholesome. So it was just the most adorable thing. Seeing Goku as a grandpa, which reminds me of that scene from Super when they're on the where Pan is with Goku and Vegeta on the roof, and at least Piccolo is saying like, "Way to go, Grandpa." It's a lot. It's nice. So seeing Goku and Trunks as young men in the normal timeline, it's really nice. Seeing them seeing them growing up the way they're supposed to, seeing the way things are going. It's not. I enjoy it. I enjoy it quite a lot. Dragon?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Good. Okay, so we were so B's probably gonna have a long lifespan thanks to Majin Buu's magic.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see. So Okay. Okay. Anyway, so we have Boo as so Goku's asked Boo a favor to arrange the fight, so he fights the mystery fighter, which we then revealed, much to Vegeta's shock, is a
Scrawny little kid from a village.
yes, named Oob. So
Which is
Goku reveals what is so special about Oob, Jacob,
that he is the human reincarnation of evil Boo,
of
but
Kid Boo.
of Kid Boo, but good.
Yes, thanks to a favor from King Yama. King Yama heard what he said, and then they kind of pulled some strings, and he reincarnated him,
And he still ended up with the name Oob.
which is basically Boo backwards.
Yes.
So yeah, and so Vegeta is very intrigued by this, and Goku wants to fight him, while he's fresh before he's had any fights. That's why he's orchestrated the fight. So we start with Pan, and then we go to Goku.
And Pan does very good in her fight against the big guy. It's against Wild Tiger.
Yes, she does.
She basically defeats him immediately.
Oh yeah, Hercule very proud, I'm sure.
Hercule and Mr. Satan and Goku.
Oh yeah. So then we have the big fight between Goku and Oob, which again part of that DLC, which is great.
And it's the final fight of the series.
Yeah, and it's pretty impressive. Also, Chuck Huber.
Chuck Huber.
Yeah.
And so basically, I love how he's hesitant to fight until Goku starts insulting him.
That's the thing. Like the kid's got talent, but Goku has to bring it out in him. But he's got to. Goku has to fight I'll admit, okay, I love this fight. I do regret that it took Goku saying those things to get the fight going. It's unfortunate. He does apologize, but it's like the one note I do have with the epilogue.
Yeah, well, it's probably just another way for Toriyama to end on like, hey, remember this is supposed to be funny.
Also, I should mention this too. We
according to Jonesy, it's Sean Michael Teague.
I wonder if he might be right, but I don't know if that's like a thing where in Kai they got him to do that, or if that he might be right. I could be. At the very least, it sounds almost identical to Chuck Hubert, Huber.
And he's right. He's right. It actually was Shawn Michael Teague.
Okay, could that? Okay, that's cool then. All right. Well, still, I mean, it's pretty good. Does it sound a little like him though, in your opinion? Does it sound like a younger version of 17?
Yeah, kinda.
All right. Okay. Well, anyway, there you go then. So Shawn Michael Tigu, Tigu,
I mean, I'm pronouncing it as Teague.
Teague. Okay, it's Teague then. Okay. All right. Well, that's good to know then. So thanks for the insight, Jonesy. All right. The point being, I regret that it took the insults. It's the one thing I'm not going to say sullies it, but it's like it's the one note I have. But again, it's necessary for the story, I
Yeah,
guess. It's just so uncharacteristic of Goku to be so kind of mean to a guy like that.
yeah, it is kind of.
It's like in front of all his family and friends too. It's that's the thing. So he basically he's trying to he's riling him up to get to the fight. I love like during this fight, like Piccolo is laughing and he's very he realizes what's going on. He's very much enjoying the fight. Which again, it's full circle too with like him being there.
Yeah,
The whole 23rd martial arts tournament to now.
I'm looking up the Shawn Michael Teague guy.
Yeah.
Apparently he was a Koenma in Yu Yu Hakusho as well.
Oh, that's it. Oh, wow, that's great.
Like, I didn't know I didn't know that was him. But I don't
Oh,
know.
that makes so much more now. I can hear it so flawlessly. Yeah,
Oh, all right then.
that makes all this because that Koenma does have a little bit of like the Chuck Huber sound as well, but it's different. It's pitched, it's pitched up a little more. Which again, now putting two and two together on who Oob is, that absolutely sounds like Koenma. I love that.
All right.
Let's just say it's very appropriate that the King Yama had a hand in Oob based on that casting.
All right then.
All right. Anyway, but yeah, so we have this awesome fight, where Goku, realizing Oob does not know how to fly yet, and that he'd be at a disadvantage, he opts to end the match.
And not by forfeit, just by leaving.
Yeah. So he ends the match, and he apologizes to Oob and explains what he was doing there, and basically that he wants the opportunity to teach Oob, and as far as his family and the prize money goes, Mr. Satan could sponsor him.
And so Goku agrees to go to the village and to live in the village and train Oob.
Which he does very impulsively to the shock of his family, but he does it.
He's basically like, oh hey, by the way, I'm going to go train this random kid.
Yep. So it's a passing of the torch thing, and appropriately in terms of where we kind of end up on things. It's like the World Martial Arts Tournament is always a very sanctified place in the tomes of Dragon Ball. Honestly, the best stories we've had in Dragon Ball specifically were at the World Martial Arts Tournament. It's appropriate that we kind of go back there. It's Goku. He's become Master Roshi. He's become Jackie Chun in that case, where he's seen potential. He doesn't, you can't get more powerful than Goku is right now, but he's looking kind of to usher that in. That's kind of what he's seeing. He's seeing that potential in Oob. He's seeing the younger version of himself potentially from Dragon Ball. One could argue.
Oh yeah, I know I can see exactly what you mean. He's less pervy Roshi, basically.
Yeah.
But he's also just as impulsive and just straight up just leaves his family.
Yeah. But again, not if he can visit him anytime. He has instant transmission, so
Yeah, but even Chi-Chi's like, oh, not again.
Yeah. But she had 10 years with him. It's
But he's always like coming and going.
That's true. And dying.
Yeah, but thankfully he's not dead this time.
Thank God.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's I always liked this ending. I thought this as an epilogue, especially too. I thought it was a really solid epilogue. And essentially, if you go by how Super works, it's the end of Super. However you want to, look at that.
It's basically the ending of the entire series.
That's true. So I think it's a good final note to end on.
It's chronologically the end.
Yes.
So and that's it.
Yeah,
Or
that's all she wrote.
it's all Toriyama wrote. This
Literally. I
this
mean, kind
this,
of.
this entire we've been 14. We've done 14 of these now.
Yes, we have.
So yeah, that's 7 in the original and 7 here. It's been quite the
Journey.
journey. Yep, quite the journey.
I agree.
But wait a minute, Dragon. What is that? What is that over there?
Jacob, that's the 7-star ball.
Oh God. You know what that means?
I do, but first we should probably say we should kind of have some final thoughts.
Yes. Before we make our wish.
Yeah.
So I guess I'll make mine first.
Yeah.
Because your thoughts will probably be more eloquent than mine.
I don't know, maybe.
Alright. So he's going through this entire thing from the very beginning, experiencing the original Dragon Ball for the first time, and then re-experiencing parts of Dragon Ball Z that I knew, and then experiencing the rest that I didn't. It's been an experience, I'll tell you that. Having you guide me through this way, and as Jonesy points out, the journey is complete. So from the beginning to the end, it's been one heck of a ride. Seeing the growth of seeing all the characters grow, from some of them being from kids all the way to adults. Some characters some characters are exactly the same as they were from when they started. Others have grown. And I just gotta say, I had a really good time with this one. It's obviously a seminal work, and I can see why it's lasted so long. Although in the future I might watch the Kai version, I don't regret watching the full one.
Hmm.
If that makes sense.
That makes sense.
All right, Dragon, why don't you regale us with your thoughts?
So, look, Dragon Ball always has a special place in my heart. It was this journey, in part, a big reason we did it. I was retreating. The reason we've been kind of going through the anime stuff is, I lost someone special to me a little while ago, about a year or so ago at this point, probably 2 years at this point. And I retreated into kind of a safe place of childhood, a place where I was kind of serendipitous. I was gifted the original Dragon Ball set on DVD, and I was watching it. It was kind of gave me that sense of comfort I had in the past, where I love Batman the animated series, but it was before the advent of it being on, like, the full seasons being on DVD. And in the interim, I had the next pursuit was like, hey, Dragon Ball. I'd really love this show, and I would tape it and watch it religiously, and just kind of track it down any which way I could, as if it were me trying to find the Dragon Balls themselves, and finding these these sagas and these arcs and these stories, and filling in the blanks, and kind of the journey in which to experience it, and kind of put all the pieces together. And you know, um, you know, Dragon Ball itself, again, was a huge part of my childhood because of that, and that was kind of was very much kind of like how I grieved the loss, and then basically I kind of went from there as they kind of try and recapture, ideally through physical media, which I did with Dragon Ball, and then I did with a lot of the other anime series. I tried to do with Dragon Ball Z, but that's a whole ball of wax with how Funimation has botched the releases of Dragon Ball over the years, apparently, which I did a lot of research on, which I arrived at that disappointing conclusion. But um, for means I won't say here, just at risk of them going away for keepsies, which they already kind of have, but I don't want to risk anything else. I ended up getting the finding digitally the Toonami stuff that I saw growing up as well, and I was able to put them like on a flash drive, and was able to kind of watch them that way for this, which was basically as close as I can get to watching like the individual DVD sets I was able to find growing up, and basically those individual DVD sets. And the orange bricks technically are those as well, but the orange bricks quality wise didn't transfer. But those single DVD sets were exactly what you saw in Toonami. And I was able to watch all those. It was basically as close as I'm going to get as recapturing like the sensation, the feeling of watching Dragon Ball, and Dragon Ball Z growing up. And I've been tracking down these animes, and I've been trying to, kind of. It's been a way of just kind of like really, kind of like it's been a very energizing experience, going through the animes and how they made me feel and recapturing just the kind of like the wide-eyed innocence and just the wide-eyed like seeing what anime was like and just what Dragon Ball did for me. It was like Kid Goku going on this adventure, and like the adventures, like a guy who doesn't really leave the house all that often, just all the places he went and the friends that he made, and just the tournaments and all the fun, and so again, it reminds me of just like like event TV for a kid, and tracking down the action figures and just the pursuit of something. It's been a pursuit of like just kind of my nostalgia and my childhood and just like those good positive feelings, and it's been kind of like a thing that's been kind of getting me into more anime and just kind of like broadening the horizons and the Shonen Jump and all that between like the core shows that I enjoyed and I relished and I've been re-experiencing if I haven't just been rewatching, I haven't seen them in forever, or just like watching things I haven't seen for a long time or ever, and it's beginning to be other things. So all of this has kind of been the lightning rod of Dragon Ball, and I think for a lot of people, Dragon Ball was kind of that. For a lot of people, it's either Pokemon or Dragon Ball. I would wager the bet, but I mean, it could be any anime. But for me, Dragon Ball was like that was the lightning rod. That was the show that like showed me like what is animation from you know overseas look like, and what does that look like in a dubbed in a way that I can kind of enjoy and that I'm used to. And it was always just kind of like eye opening, and it was great, and it was like something like you've never seen before, and it just showed you that this is an animated show like you haven't seen. It's not just like fun and cartoony. And don't get me wrong, there's all sorts of different. It broadened the horizons of what animation could be for me and what it could do, and the idea of like this is adapted from a comic book. It was like one of the early kind of comic book adaptations via the manga to an anime, and it just really was like anime 101 for me. And it was, I'm sure a lot of people have that story, have a lot of people have that experience, but it was just something I always appreciated. And Dragon Ball kind of got buried over time, and just kind of since the loss and everything, I've just been kind of it's been good to rediscover. And I'm gonna get maudlin on you here, but it's I'm not saying the two are necessarily linked, but it was the loss of my grandfather that kind of threw me into that. And Dragon Ball was kind of founded on a kid kind of reconnecting with his grandfather through a material item that is the four-star Dragon Ball itself. So it's been kind of serendipitous. It's been it's an emotional thing. It's been nostalgic. It's been kind of like I've been kind of reclaiming a lot of things. Been kind of like processing a lot of stuff, and it's just been kind of going to a safe, kind of happy place with Dragon Ball. And Dragon Ball Z itself is just been it's been a journey, and it's taken me to some happy places, some happy old familiar places. And the Buu Saga of all those places was like that was just a that was a blast from the past of all the sagas we went through. I'm not gonna I don't want to just say it's my favorite, because saying Saga, it's kind of hard to top that. But I mean, it might technically be better. I mean, I don't know. And obviously, the Cell Saga, it's one to beat. So I don't know where I would rank any of these, but the Blue Saga always holds a special place in my heart, because that was like kind of like with Seinfeld with me. I was at Seinfeld at the very end of Seinfeld, and then I re-explored it. And Blue Saga was like that was when I was like all caught up, and I was like I was in it. So I will always have like a lot of reverence, and just a lot of good times associated with the Blue Saga, and just one of the probably the best thrill ride of all the Dragon Ball Z sagas for me specifically. So I love it. I think there's great character arcs in it with Boo and Satan and everything, and I love it to pieces, man. I think it's pretty strong narratively, and it's a lot of fun. I don't know if some people will say they should have ended it after Cell. Well, I'm glad they didn't after Cell, because we got all this. Does it measure up to Cell? I don't know. I think it does, but what do I know? I just liked it.
And then nothing. What can you say more than that?
Yeah.
People find joy in different things. Some people might like the Cell Saga more. Some people might like the Boo Saga more. So there's nothing really wrong with preferring either one. Either way, they both came from the same pen,
Yeah,
right?
agreed.
So, like I said, going through the entire journey, like I said myself, it has been quite an experience for me. Seeing all these characters either remain the same or change. I wish I had the same nostalgic connection you did, Dragon.
Yeah,
But experiencing it anew experiencing it anew and seeing it for the first time, I'm glad I went on this journey. I'm
me
glad to,
too.
and I'm glad to have shared it with you.
Likewise.
All right. And nothing I can say will top what you just said.
Yeah.
So, so is it time, Dragon?
Yeah.
Summon the dragon then.
Okay. Uh, Shenron, Eternal Dragon, Shenron, we summon you. We want to make a wish. Bung, bung.
What is your wish?
We want more Dragon Ball Z to talk about.
Your wish is granted. All right then.
I have a good feeling about this. I think there's I think we found more Dragon Ball Z stuff to talk about.
Oh yeah. So,
Something cinematic, maybe.
well, Dragon. So the world is safe once again thanks to the efforts of Goku and his friends. As Goku flies off to train young Oob, his original journey has come to an end. However, we're not done yet. Next time on Journey into Dragon Ball Z, we're going to the movies. Good night, everybody.